It's so stupid. It's like bite your nose off to spite your face.
Yeah.
We're gonna out somebody that we think is on the other side but we're gonna join the other side to get them out.
That's my biggest
Absolutely
thing.
stupid. You know, the Republican Party, shame on you because you're a mess right now.
Oh my
Total
goodness, we
mess.
don't need Ryan Schmelz. How you doing today?
Good. I'm fired right
He's
up.
fired up. He's out of the gym
No,
and he's ticked
I
off.
did a lot of calorie ski right now.
So where are you coming from? Down the road?
Yeah, I was at Mohawk Valley Wellness, sweating because I need to get back there. Obviously, you know.
Well, it sounds like you just came from there.
Yeah, I did. I had 5:30
You're going to go
class.
back already? You just left.
He needs to get back to where he was, and I'm the same way. You know?
I've been doing intermittent fasting, and I've been hanging. I mean, I'm balanced. You know, like I dropped
The inversion table hanging?
No.
I love that. That's great for your back.
Plateauing, so I'll say I'm plateauing.
Gotcha,
so I
gotcha,
started at 317 in May. I'm down to 266. But I can't get past that next level because, you know, I needed the exercise part of it because, you know, diet is a huge part of it, but exercise as well, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I could only run so much around that small little car lot up there in Boonville. It's not very big. A lot of cars, but it's not very big, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, from one end to one end, I got to go back and forth a few times to get my steps
It
in,
is
you know?
tough to tough to maintain, you know. And again, you slip up just a little bit, and you know, I'm
right.
like Oprah with the yo-yoing, you know. Like maybe I should get a weight.
But it's
watcher,
one
too.
day. Like I had pizza and wings on Sunday, right? I was celebrating.
Throws you back.
My team did pretty good again.
Yeah,
there we go.
I mean, we won't get into it because this week is the test. This is week 5, right?
Yeah.
And we're playing San Fran this week, right?
Ooh,
so that's the test.
going to be the marquee matchup.
We beat San Fran, and you're not going to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Not a bit. No.
Why, who did that before? So, you know, your Cowboys, that's, I actually, you know, they're a good team. That injury to Diggs is obviously
Listen, the defense
bummer
is
for
playing
you
well. I'm
guys.
very happy with the defense. The special teams, very good. Red zone offense, not happy. I mean, come on, we've got to punch it in more. I do like our kicker though. How about that guy?
Yeah,
Unbelievable. Soccer player, never
Yeah.
kicked a football in his life, and then bam.
I'm
like
almost
him.
surprised this doesn't happen more often.
Yeah, I would be too, don't you think?
I mean, they've been training their foot basically their
whole
life.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a testimony. This is like that. What was that? The football movie with Keanu Reeves. They had the kicker. He was from England.
Oh,
you know,
I
that
forget
smoked
now.
cigarettes and kicked the football at the end.
but Smitty,
That was
the
also the longest yard.
The
replacements. There you
replacements,
go. You got it.
Well, my team, I don't know what happened. It's like, you know, Jordan Love decides to, you know, turn it on in the second half. I mean, you had that crazy comeback against the Saints.
Yeah.
You know, I don't understand. You pick Jared Goff off the first play of the first drive of the game. You're picking Jared Goff. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Hand the ball to Aaron Jones,
Yeah.
and then it just flattened out. What are you doing? So I don't know. Young
All right.
team.
So we can't turn this into
I know.
a sports talk show because then we're going to get hate.
Let's
mail,
get back to how much we hate Matt Gates.
Yeah. So, well, you could. Any other thoughts you wanted to share on that? I just think the whole thing. I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, speaking of football analogy, I have to like stiff arm it because I'm like, I can't get into this because everything changes. They say one thing today, they change their mind next week. It's just being the opposite of what the other side says. I'm just so disgusted by the whole process.
Does Matt Gates want to be speaker? I mean, I don't understand. Like, who does he think is going to do a better
He got
job?
paid.
Yeah, I think, or they have something on him.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous. I mean, somebody's got something on everyone. Do you know that?
That's
everyone.
true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Now, what's going on today? You guys shutting your phones off? Like, what?
No, is my phone off?
No, what time? No, you got to shut them off. Isn't that
Oh,
where they're
no.
going to zombie apocalypse everybody
yeah.
today, right?
2:20 this afternoon.
2:20. So no cell phones. No, don't stand around any vehicle that has like OnStar or anything because that's a satellite signal too. You got to get right in the deep woods.
That'll.
I'm
connect
driving the
with-
1970 Buick today. There ain't no computers in that one.
It'll be a good day.
They're not
for
getting
it.
me. Of course.
So what?
Of course, I didn't get the injection, so anybody who probably got that is going to be the zombies. That's
It'll
what
be
I
a
figure.
good.
Zombie apocalypse on all booster shots. There we go.
It'll
Okay.
probably. It'll probably be a good day to take the car out.
Yeah, no, it would be. Yeah. I won't get any flash bomb or anything, that'll shut my electrical equipment off because that car just goes through anything.
Nagel chiming in. He just said 4-0 go
Oh,
Birds.
they
Yeah, the Eagles
got
are nasty
real
right
lucky
now.
though. They got real lucky.
Yeah, they've been. I hate out of
last
anybody in my division. I'm sorry, Nagel, but I can't stand.
No, I'm the
Birds.
same. Well,
Can't
listen.
stand 'em.
I'm 100% with you on that.
I did like the movie with Wahlberg, though. I
Yeah.
did like that. And
Yeah,
but I anything else I don't like. No.
No, look, I 100% agree. And Nagel, with all due respect, yeah, the only team I actually hate probably in any sport is the Eagles.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Miracle at the Meadowlands 1, Miracle at the Meadowlands 2, Miracle at the Meadowlands 3. Soon coming to a television near you, Miracle at the Meadowlands 4. I mean, it's just ripped my guts right out of my
So
chest.
you don't believe in this thing that's happening today about the zombie apocalypse?
It's not a zombie apocalypse,
I heard
Joe.
that. What is this? Something in your blood going to turn you?
It's going to be a test of the
dear
national
Lord.
emergency system.
I don't believe that. You believe that? You're the
No.
conspiracy guy too. I don't believe that.
Here's what I don't understand, though.
I think they're going to. You saw that movie, right? With what's his name, the fancy suit guy that shot up everybody, and then they had the cell phone chip. Next thing you know, they're all fighting each other. What the hell?
You
is
know
that?
what he's talking about? What's the movie?
I don't know. The gentleman's thing where I don't know.
Oh, you're
You
on
have to look
fire
it
this
up.
morning, Joe.
Damn it.
Put him out, Davey. Go get the extinguisher. You're going nuts this morning.
I
So-
could use a cup of black coffee though.
Yeah, a wealth of partial information.
Hey, Smitty, if you don't mind, will you grab a cup for him?
No, if you do mind, don't worry about it.
Oh no. Okay, you're good. Okay,
No,
fine.
I
You're
don't
good.
care. I don't want poor Smitty, back and forth like a ping
What do you
pong.
mean? Okay.
All
Well, I'll give Smitty some money. He can go to the
All
store
right,
and
all
get
right.
himself something.
All right.
Here, Smitty,
Get
come
yourself something nice, Smitty.
Get yourself something nice.
Too bad it's not Friday because they got like apple fritter Friday at Stewart's.
on.
Is
Okay.
that what
Every
it's
Friday.
called officially?
Yeah, fritter Friday every Friday, $1.99 apple fritters at Stewart's. Go to your local Stewart's shop.
Is that right?
Fritter Friday, baby.
You know what's funny is actually I got in a discussion about this with
Wind
your
up.
dad
Oh, yeah.
about Stewart's. And
Oh,
we were
yeah.
like, Stewart's is good, and what do you like at Stewart's? And there was a bunch of us. It might have been like a Memorial Day cookout at my house, and somebody was like, the ice cream, and someone said the coffee,
Milkshakes.
and someone said the milkshakes,
Yeah.
and everybody's got all these things, and your dad goes, you know what they're really, I really like it, the
chili.
apple fritters, and everyone went, what are you talking about? But I didn't. They do an apple fritter Friday. I
Yeah,
had
they
no
do a
idea.
fritter Friday, and it's I think it's like every Friday in the month. And
Ernie always knows how to find a deal. That's the thing.
big ups to Rob Reese. Whoop. I just had to throw that out there. Anyway, Fritter Friday. This Friday, actually, the Nimes crew is going to be at the Post Street, Boonville location from 7 a.m. to 8:30, 7 to 8:30, I believe. Free coffee. And we do that. We give away free coffee
that's
this,
cool.
this
Pretty
Friday.
awesome.
Post Street, the Post Street Stewart's in Boonville, because there's like a whole crowd. They got a whole section of people that just go there every day. They talk cars, they talk politics, they talk fritters, whatever. It doesn't
That's
matter.
what Stewart's is for.
Stewart's
really.
is part of the community
It
because
is.
it's for community.
Okay,
And
so
it is until they're not welcome in a certain community and they want to be shut down, like in South Utica. Oh, we don't want a Stewart's.
Well, God forbid you have to go someplace, sit down, and have a cup of
Oh,
coffee
my
and talk
gosh.
to your friends.
The best part is all the people protesting the East Utica culvert. That's like or the East Utica Stewart's. That's where the meeting spot is.
I
now,
know it's
so.
a big meeting spot.
Let's meet at the Stewart's and see what we can be
Okay.
against.
Before cell phones, they had Stewart's.
all right, we got to get back to this. Hang on, you guys are on fire this morning. My goodness.
We're fired up.
You know,
Are you like this because you worked out, or are you like this all day long? My goodness,
Jeff,
Joe.
this is how I roll.
Yeah.
Holy
I roll
Toledo.
110%.
Do you ever go to bed at night?
No, I can't sleep. My back hurts.
I can imagine
Oh,
you don't
really?
wind down ever. So back to the alert system.
Yeah.
My only confusion is, it obviously works. Look, Saturday night,
I didn't get the big loud. I mean, I got a message that there was an Amber Alert, but I didn't get that big loud
same here.
notification.
But
No.
I have gotten before
Yeah.
an Amber Alert on
Yeah.
my phone, and the phone starts buzzing. I've actually gotten storm warnings before on my phone. So at some point the system was working. I know though recently when we had the tornadoes, right?
Yeah.
I never got one of those
No.
major alerts on my phone.
But thank God it
and then
worked
when the
for
girl went
Amber.
missing Saturday, I was getting news notifications. As a matter of fact, Bill wrote the story Saturday night. He was on top of that, and I got alerts from IBX from him.
Yeah.
But I never got like a statewide Amber
I
Alert
didn't
system.
get one either for her. I saw it on
that's
the
weird.
news.
What
Yeah, I
a
thought-
crazy story that is, though. And did you see again, everything.
So they
Oh,
caught
hang
him.
on,
They
before,
caught him
before we
because.
move on. Hang on,
All right.
before we move on from that, what you're saying, there's no a zombie apocalypse this afternoon. They're going to test this emergency alert system statewide.
for the zombie apocalypse.
Oh my!
This
goodness,
is what I was
guys.
told. This is just a reminder that on Wednesday, October 4th, emergency alarm is going to go off around 2 to 3
2:20.
p.m. Eastern time.
2:20, yeah.
Okay, and it says make sure you turn off all your devices. The alert can come through your TV, computer, phone, radio, basically everything else that runs off satellites or internet, and make sure you're unplugged and dead. You want to unplug everything. Like you want to disconnect your car batteries.
Signed QAnon?
It says, but the actual CDC has come out with how to prepare for a zombie apocalypse alert. Yes, the actual CDC. That's what I was told. I read it right here. It came over on Facebook. So that's got to be true. It's the exact. Let's see. It says there was a movie made in 2014 called The Signal, and this is exactly what they're doing from that movie. I never saw it, but
when Bill's not here, I'm going to have to add a disclaimer to the show. When I got you guys in the show,
the
opinions expressed on this show
I
are
know
not
it sounds
necessarily
crazy,
those
but
of Town
you
Square
never
Media.
can tell. You
No,
don't
you
know.
can't.
You don't
No, you
know what's
don't
going to
know.
happen these days. I mean, we've been told, oh, nobody will ever fly into a building. It happened.
Well, okay, no, that's true, but I mean that's someone made a decision.
Nobody will ever have a compound in Texas and try to uphold whatever they want to do and fight the government. And it happens.
Again, individual decisions.
Right,
Zombie
but that's
apocalypse.
not-
We're
it
not
could
all
be.
just.
What if it was some crazy person in the CDC with the emergency alert system going, oh, I got the time.
So
right
do
now,
you
I'm
think
gonna
your
do
brain
this."
is pre-programmed that if you hear the right tone, you're going to turn into a zombie?
If you got the shot.
If you got the
All right.
I didn't.
I
So
have to add a disclaimer to this show. My goodness. Okay, can we? Let's. I want your guys' thoughts on your guys. That's proper English.
use guys.
Use guys. What did you guys think? I mean, how horrific and scary was it when the story broke on Saturday, and then all of a sudden Monday night, it's like they found her and she's okay,
That's
which was
crazy.
great.
I think it's amazing that they found her.
Well,
but
they
it was all
found her-
because his stupidity, right?
Yeah, they found her, and usually a lot of the time, this Amber Alert thing happens, and it's a runaway or it's another, like a
parent
the
or a
parent,
family
right,
member,
the
yeah.
significant other of one of the others that take. But the fact that she was actually abducted from the woods,
Yeah.
and luckily she was found,
Yeah, and so the guy that kidnapped her apparently
which
left
is
finger-
allegedly.
right, alleged. He left alleged fingerprints.
He allegedly looks
on
like
a
a
ransom
creeper
note.
too.
Yeah, you don't
Did
think
you
so,
see the
right?
picture?
Yeah.
Did you see?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like that's a guy. If he's walking around the woods, you shoot him.
Joe, stop.
Well, you
Joe,
know, this
slow
is-
down. Just
I would've.
slow down. Slow down.
He's part Sasquatch.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
proof they exist.
So, but obviously a horrific story. Fortunately, it worked out.
Thank
How
God.
bizarre is it that he left a fingerprint on there? The guy have they confirmed he worked for the post office? And he
Well,
went
I
and
didn't
dropped the
know
letter
that.
off at the house?
I didn't know that. No, I think he left a ransom note.
It was a ransom note.
I don't
No,
think
ro-
he worked for the. I don't know that he necessarily. I didn't hear
the
the part
initial,
about the post office.
I think the initial report was that he was a postal worker. or
He didn't
something.
look like one to
But
me.
they
They're
got-
all
I
clean
didn't
cut.
think-
They have to shave and everything at the post
Yeah.
office.
Do they have to?
Yeah, they're all clean cut.
Oh
down
no,
there.
no,
No,
they
my
got
mailman's got
Do
a
they?
mustache.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of a beard. Yeah.
Oh, but they're nicely trimmed.
Yes.
My
Yes.
buddy and client Steve, he's got a beard. He's a postman. But I think it was they found the fingerprint that they matched from a drunk driving incident in '99.
Really?
Is how they caught
Yeah.
them.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
what
bizarre.
Davey was saying
But nowadays,
yesterday.
if you get pulled over, if you have any kind of criminal record, they got proof. They got things on you now. It's not like the '70s when they didn't have the DNA and all
Right.
this nonsense. We
Right.
got
Or
it all now.
computers in
Yeah.
the car. Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, okay, we heard the news so fast because why? We're hooked up to technology. It's the same thing with the law enforcement. They have like systems in place that you want to be in Texas and you want to get a fingerprint from New York, you got it instantly on your phone.
Well, and you know what though? But that whole database that connects all these police agencies, that's a fairly new. I don't want to say advancement, but the coordination there is fairly new. I mean, for years, this is why in certain cases some serial killers were allowed to do what they did for so long. I mean, the technology was there, but all the police agencies, the law enforcement agencies, weren't necessarily exchanging information and all connected to the same database. So they're trying to sync that now.
So
I believe that's happened.
They found him,
it was
but I
fairly
was told
recent.
she was actually rescued by 2 SWAT teams, and one was from the state police and FBI. So,
Yeah.
they
Kudos
actually-
to them.
So,
Yeah, great job, guys. That's why we like the men in blue, right?
Hell-
They
and
keep
women.
us safe.
And
keep
women.
us safe. And women. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely like the women. They look. Anyway, very attractive in those uniforms, ladies. Nice job.
So the 9-year-old girl Charlottesina back home, I can only
of
imagine
the
what she went
things-
through,
The
and I hope she
trauma
wasn't.
for that short time, I would
I know,
imagine is.
and she was in a cabinet. She was in a cabinet in
Yeah.
a camper.
Oh my god.
yeah.
So one of the craziest things that my girlfriend kept pointing out was they could not get the height right.
yes,
It was a thing where she was 5'1", then she was 5'6", And if she's
and that was 4'6". I was one of our listeners actually
like
reached out and sent me a message.
5'1" and 90 pounds, she'd have been like, playing
Yeah.
for the Knicks.
Yeah. So, right, there was some issues with that reporting. It is an odd
Well, it is
thing.
odd, though, that we can't get that kind of information out. Do you remember there was that woman in Schuyler that owned the hotel that got murdered? And the picture they posted of this guy was from like 20 years ago. It didn't even look like the guy. I mean, that's the part. Like, I have a problem with the DMV. I'll just say this. I have the same picture on my license from 20 years ago, and I look like an overweight Asian fella on my ID. It doesn't look like me at all.
But
I
you
look
can
like
get a
Chunk.
new one.
No, they don't. They just send it to you in the mail now. They don't even
You
care.
got to go in, though. You got to go in.
And who wants to go there?
Well,
Come on.
Again,
It's a trap.
Joe, individual decisions. You have choices to make.
Free will.
So I will be a sumo wrestler for life.
I mean, you should see my DMV photo. Looks like I got a nice, full, healthy head of hair. I mean, how misleading is that?
I got to tell you, thank God for the black and white because,
It hides a lot, right?
because I get my license for real estate. Like, they send you a card that looks like a license, and it's in color, and I'm like, ugh. But then you see the black and white on there, I'm like, hey, that's a handsome guy right there.
Well, look at him. As he's decked out in his gold, he's got his little Andrew Dominion ring.
This
It's
was
not
a
on his
gift.
pinky ring, but
This
it's
was a gift
That's nice, though.
From the
This was a
Monjos.
gift.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Man, you are pimping today. Look at you.
Well, pimping ain't easy.
I know.
How's that going though? By the way, the
Good.
real
It's a-
estate
you
game.
know,
Oh, he's selling stuff all over the town.
And so
I
are
mean,
you.
He's a salesman, that guy.
I learned from the best over
You know what's
here.
great about Andrew though is and it kind of like me too. I don't sell the product. I sell myself, and that's what he does. And I keep getting those flyers in the mail. You're wasted.
You and Matt Barbuto. I got a text from Matt Barbuto the other day, and he says,
I have got every piece of little you've ever sent out. I think.
He said, Matt
Frame
Barbuto
it.
says, "Stop sending me mail. I will call you if I need you."
That's great.
No, but what they say is, marketing yourself. It's
Yeah.
good to do the direct mail, the email, and the people I'm working with. I said to them, like, "Am I going to annoy people?" Like, a few. But, you want to stay top of mind.
You
so.
do. You definitely want to stay top of mind. That's why I do a lot of videos on Facebook and a lot of posts on Instagram because, if you're not out there, they don't know about you.
Exactly.
And, I haven't DJ'd out in the bar scene in forever, but we had a good turnout last Friday.
I know you're doing a lot now. You're
Yeah.
doing a lot more of that.
Well, because, I have to keep busy.
yeah.
I have to keep busy right now. So otherwise, my mind is a terrible thing. Sometimes it can get you in a lot of trouble. So you want to try to stay as busy as possible to keep you on track.
Not to go harp on this again and have you come up with a bunch of.
He gave me every single color.
Yeah, well, Smitty
Well, he
takes
doesn't
care of people.
discriminate,
That's
you
why.
know?
No, I like
Smitty's
the
the
yellow
man.
ones, but thank you. They're not good
If
for
it wasn't for Smitty, I'd have been fired from here a long, long time ago. I'm not kidding about that. A lot of Americans will be looking at their phones today. Now, this is don't chime in here because I'm going to be serious about this. I want to get the accurate information.
Okay, you do that.
A lot of Americans are going to be looking at their phones at the exact same time today, 2:20 p.m. Eastern, 11:20 a.m. Pacific. I thought this was a statewide, but I guess it's national. And no, it's not because they're always looking at their phones anyway. Earlier this year, the government announced it had picked this day for a nationwide test of the emergency alert system and the wireless emergency alerts. An alert will be sent to all radios and televisions as well as consumer cell phones. You don't need to do anything, just ignore it. Just like those tests of the emergency broadcast system. In fact, the ones that we run, that Davey runs each week and each month here on the radio station. The purpose is to make sure that the system works because when there's an actual emergency like a tornado, there's no time for troubleshooting. It'll be a brief interruption, but we'll always all be dealing with it. Most of us, some conspiracy theorists say they're avoiding keeping their phones off all day, and they have pretty wild takes on this. They claim the alert on people's cell phones will be used to activate nanoparticles introduced into people's bodies.
I told you.
There are many conflicting explanations for how this would happen. There's one video where a woman says that the test will trigger a graphene oxide that was put into people's blood through the COVID-19 vaccine. Joe.
Interesting. Somebody else had the same idea.
Yeah.
And when that happens, the government will be able to monitor people and control them like they control remote toys.
You know about that graphene stuff? Which you call it again? It's graphene.
Graphene oxide?
Yeah, so they use graphene when they simonize cars, so it seals all, and it's very hard, very protective, but it is a metal material. And They sprayed that up in this guy. You know those things.
You think we should take a break? Or
Oh, boy. Okay, not to go too far down the rabbit hole, but graphene oxide is not an ingredient in any COVID vaccine. And even if it was, scientists say you can't activate it, and it makes no sense that someone could interact with it via a wireless network. This is also the first nationwide test to be sent through phones. Federal law requires the system to be tested every few years. The last one happened in 2021.
And don't worry, there won't be any
2021.
balloons flying over our country from China either that we don't notice till the last minute.
All right. We're going to get an update on what happened in Congress yesterday.
Are we going to speak to that guy?
Yeah, we're going to talk to
Yeah,
Ryan Schmelz coming up
I want to
in
get into this a little more.
just a few minutes. He'll be joining us here in a second. It's First News Keeler in the morning, WIBX 950 AM and 106.9 FM.
Fall in love with being home again with a new mattress from Central New York's newest furniture and mattress store, Ashley, in the Marcy Town Plaza on River Road in Marcy. Shop our huge selection on display and in stock by Ashley, Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Tempur-Pedic. Right now, Ashley Hybrid Queen mattresses are just $6 a month for only $2.99. Sealy Posturepedic or Ashley Anniversary Queen mattresses, firm, plush, or pillow top, your choice, just $12 a month for only $5.99. Plus, experience better sleep and save on a luxurious Tempur-Pedic Queen mattress, just $41 a month or $21.99. Plus, get a $300 gift certificate with every Tempur-Pedic set. We have free mattress delivery, and we offer special no-interest financing for every budget with up to 5 years interest-free. Whether it's for the spare room, the kids, or yourself, Ashley has the mattress you need in stock and on sale right now. Save in-store only at Ashley in the Marcy Town Plaza on River Road in Marcy. Stop in today.
Hi, this is Scott Hayes.
And this is Jill Hayes from New York Sash.
Honey, there's a lot of folks out there right now that could use a makeover.
What? Honey, you can't say that. You shouldn't say that.
No, not a personal makeover, honey. Their bathroom. They could use a bathroom makeover from New York Sash. It's our annual bathroom makeover sale. Right now, you can get 20% off your New York Sash acrylic bathroom system. It's the best price on a bathroom we offer all year.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. It's the makeover everyone can enjoy. A New York Sash bathroom. Our installers will give you a whole new look in just a couple of days, with no mess, no maintenance, and no worries with our lifetime warranty.
Your bathroom will never look better. You can visit our showroom on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. Call us or lock in your discount right now online at NewYorkSash.com. Get 20% off your new bathroom.
And let our family take care of your family for less.
Is your prostate secretly being destroyed without you knowing it? All the ads for these prostate pills like Super Beta Prostate, Saw Palmetto, ProstaStream, Prostagenics, and others. Want to know which pills work and which are garbage? Now you can. Get a free copy of the new guide, Prostate Secrets, that pulls back the curtain on the prostate pill industry. Learn what is really in these pills. Which pill has over 987 adverse event reports filed against it with the FDA? It's shocking. Learn the one food to avoid that is a prostate killer, and discover the 3 so-called health foods that destroy your prostate. Get your free copy at prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com. This free guide will show you how to end your prostate problems without drugs or surgery, 5 important things to do to protect your prostate, and much more. Warning, this guide is controversial and may be offensive to some readers as it pulls no punches. So go to prostatesecrets.com. prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, we are back. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM, 106.9 FM. We are up on YouTube this morning, of course, streaming always via the WIBX 950 mobile app. Andrew is waving to
Where the hell's the cameras?
Right behind
TV
you.
audience. It's behind you, Joe.
What I was waving to.
We go to
I didn't see it in the corner. You guys are spies.
Yeah.
Ryan Schmelz of Fox News Radio for an update on what happened. We got your takes on what happened yesterday this morning, but now we go right to Ryan Schmelz for a report. Kevin McCarthy ousted as House Speaker. Ryan, what is going on?
Yeah, so for the first time in history, guys, we have a Speaker of the House who has been removed from office through the motion to vacate. And you had 8 Republicans who voted with just about every single Democrat who was present yesterday to make this move happen. And this has created a lot of frustration within the party. And now, as we are kind of up against another government shutdown scheduled for November 17th, Congress is now out of session, and Republicans sent everybody home because they've got to figure out who the next Speaker of the House is going to be, and we're likely looking at Tuesday being the day that we do another Speaker's race.
Who were the 8 Republicans that voted to oust him? Obviously, Gates is one.
Right.
And Marjorie Taylor
Gates.
Greene, I'm sure, is another.
No, Marjorie Taylor Greene did not vote to oust.
Oh, okay.
Actually, Marjorie Taylor Greene was strongly against this from the start. Lauren Boebert did not vote to oust McCarthy, but you had members like Andy Biggs, Ken Buck, Eli Crane. Those were some of the names. And I think the one that shocked a lot of people was Congresswoman Nancy Mace, who has been a big Matt Gaetz critic over the years, and especially during the Speaker's race. But she said that she had issues with how McCarthy was handling women's issues within the party. So I think there was this big gasp that went over the room when she decided to vote yes. I missed it. I was on the phone with Mitch Albom when that was going on. I stepped out to call into his show. So I came back. I was like, hey, what did I miss? They were like, yeah, Nancy Mace just voted no. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay,
Wow.
This has gotten real.
What states do they represent?
Well, I get you the list.
Yeah.
You got a list?
Go ahead.
Yeah, right. So Mace is South Carolina. Biggs and Crane are Arizona. Gates is Florida. Ken Buck is Colorado. And I need the rest of the list. You have Matt Rosendale from Montana, who might be a Senate candidate. He's considering a run for Senate, and that's concerning to a lot of Republicans because they feel that he cannot beat John Tester. So most of these guys are in safe districts, with Mace probably being the exception. So McCarthy was actually asked afterwards if he would consider primary challengers for some of these folks, and he wouldn't go there just yet. But he did help campaign for a lot of them, though.
So, Ryan, my big question is, this is the confusing part. I mean, just the hypocrisy alone of, one of the big reasons for McCarthy, needing to go is him being too willing to work with the other side, and you vote with all the Democrats to oust him. But Ken Buck, he's one of the few members of Congress that was opposed to the impeachment inquiry, correct?
Yes, that's right. He's been, acting a little,
chameleon
interesting lately.
Yeah,
where he's been saying he's been kind of siding with Merrick Garland at some of these hearings. He thanked Christopher Wray for his service during a hearing where Christopher Wray, the FBI director, was at. And yes, and he's been kind of having this mild-mannered view of a lot of issues where he says we need to be focused on fiscal issues and all that. But something has gone awry with him and McCarthy, where he's now voted to vacate him. So, yes, I think that one was kind of a shocker to see Buck take that hard stance, but it was one that he decided to take, especially when he was somebody who voted to put McCarthy in the speakership in the first place.
Well, and the big claim is that all of the people that ousted McCarthy are these hard right people. I wouldn't exactly call Ken Buck a hard right congressman.
No, I would consider him a staunch conservative on fiscal issues. He has been one of those who will, vote against the National Defense Authorization Act because it spends too much money, and he wants to cut wasteful spending in Congress. But Nancy Mace is also considered to be a moderate. She is somebody who has been very outspoken and critical of the party when it comes to where the party stands on abortion issues. And she was ultimately one who decided to oust McCarthy, despite the fact that she was so critical of Gaetz when he was trying to keep McCarthy from becoming Speaker back in January. So that was one that I think really shocked a lot of people.
Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio, thank you so much for the update. We appreciate your time.
Hey, have a good one, guys. Thank you.
We will see
a whole bunch of question marks. It's just crazy, to be honest.
Yeah, I actually have the full list here. I know he ran down most of it. Andy Biggs of Arizona, Eli Crane of Arizona, Ken Buck, Colorado, Tim Burkett of Tennessee, Matt Gaetz of Florida, of course, who started this, Bob Good of Virginia, Nancy Mason, South Carolina, and Matt Rosendale of the state of Montana.
And then even like Chip Roy, who was one of the people that was against McCarthy getting the spot too, I think supported him too. So it's just.
I thought he was doing a fine job. I don't think he was doing anything wrong.
No, he wasn't my favorite, but he was doing the best he could.
Yeah, for what he had. And I hate to say this, but sometimes you have to side with the other other side to get
Well, you
things
need to
done.
negotiate.
That's progress, right?
Yeah.
But this is foolish. Actually, this is appalling to the American people. If you're an American and you're listening to this, you should be appalled by the actions of this whole nonsense. And it's time we stand up, shoulder to shoulder, folks. I'm just saying that.
Where's my bell? Hit my bell.
Oh, hold on.
You said the first thing you said this morning. I agree, 110%, Joe.
Yeah.
You hit the nail right on the head.
That's it. That's all I said that you agree on.
Well, you're talking about a zombie apocalypse.
Mark my
I would
words.
have
on.
done the sound effects, but you got to pull up 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, you know what? There you go. Here you go. Thank you very much. There's my bell.
Ring my bell.
So I hesitate to read this story with the two of you in the room, but I'm
Oh,
going to do it
excellent.
anyway.
Let's
I
hear
got
it.
it. I got it ready.
There's an article making its rounds on the internet where it says you have to wash your bananas. It seems pointless unless you're some weirdo who eats the peel, but the idea is that bacteria on the outside can still get on your hand and then into your mouth.
Okay.
Here's why I think this is foolish, and this is, I think, really foolish, that you need to wash the peel of a banana before you take it off. I mean, why wouldn't you have to wash the peel of an orange?
Well,
or
you
the
wash
peel of
your
a-
apples, you wash everything. Because they're putting a lot of insecticides and stuff on these things.
But
See,
the
I
peel
almost
of a
think
banana-
let your immune system take those things in so that it learns to fight those
Again,
things.
I will tell you, Andrew, I drank water out of a lead pipe at the Hilltop in Frankfort, New York. I don't have a problem with anything.
Yeah.
My immune system's strong.
It is.
I'm
working on a quarter kidney, damn it.
So there's seriously an article that's making the rounds on the internet. A senior director at something called the International Food Information Council says to wash your bananas under clean running water before you peel them. You don't need to use any special wash. Just water is fine. That's not all, though. She says that you should really be washing your avocados, too. It might be even more important than washing bananas. Like any type of produce, the outside can get contaminated with bacteria. The reason it's more important to clean the bananas is because to clean them than avocados is because we cut into avocados, and the knife can drag some of that bacteria onto the part of the avocado that you eat. I think this is foolish. Look, yeah, you should wash your fruit and vegetables.
Scare tactic.
But right tomorrow or last week or whatever, because they come out with these stories all the time, there's going to be a story that says there's more bacteria and germs on your phone than there is in the bottom of a toilet bowl, right? You've all seen these stories before, right? Which is absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
Who's doing the studies? That's why, and who's paying for
Yeah,
it?
we are.
Zombies, that's who, Joe.
Dear God.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I ate dirt pies when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I drank water out of a lead pipe. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Again, of all
How many
days.
times
Well, you
have
also
you,
only
have
have
you
a
ever
quarter
eaten a
kidney.
penny?
No.
I did.
But I've had change in my hand and then probably eaten a bag of potato chips. And, it's the same thing, isn't it?
Same thing.
Again, I'm telling you, the stars
That's why
align.
we have cilia in our hair that traps all the germs and stuff before it gets into our system. I mean, our bodies are meant for this, okay?
Yeah.
Let's just get out there.
You don't want to
folks.
suppress the immune system.
No.
Another
Oh,
story.
we saw what happens when you do.
Yeah, right.
I hesitate to read with the two of you in here. You know what today is? Bill always announces what the national day is.
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
National Taco Day.
Oh, baby.
A recent poll found
It's
only
not a Tuesday.
No, it's not Tuesday. It can't be.
A recent poll found only 5% of Americans do not like tacos. 71% prefer tacos to burritos. A few national chains have deals going on today. Del Taco, that's not local. They brought it
Taco
up,
Bell
blah,
got
blah, blah.
anything?
Taco Bell's got to have something, I'm sure.
Better.
I bet you if you get up there to what's that one over there in New Hartford? There, can't think of the name now.
Oh, Pedro's?
Pedro. You
Oh,
probably
yeah,
got some
Pedro's
tacos,
is
something.
delicious,
Hey,
yeah.
all right. The
We're
bigger
starting to
question
see-
is soft or hard?
Oh, soft taco.
Yeah,
No,
see,
hard taco.
I like the crunch. I do
You
like the
do like
crunch.
the
I
crunch,
used
but
to
it's an
put
instant
potato
mess.
chips on my sandwich, my bologna sandwich. I used to put the chips on there.
Yeah, no,
For the
it's great.
crunch.
It's a great yeah.
Wonder Bread and crunch.
I
Absolutely.
like the hard taco, but it's instant mess. You take one bite and it's all over your
No,
lap.
that's true. Well, they got the cheese on there anyway. That stuff goes flying, whether it's hard or soft. Wayne's on the line, and Wayne's got a tip on
Wayne's
washing
World.
fruit.
Wayne's World.
No, I wanted to tell you, I used to work in produce for like 5 years, and a lot of times when they were giving us they were bringing us like the stuff in on the pallets, they would topple over, and stuff would, grapes would fly out, the berries would fly out, and we'd, go pick them up, put them back in. So wash
3 second rule. 3-second
Wash your
rule.
stuff. Plus, there's rats and mice running around in these stores, and God knows what the hell they're doing on top of this stuff while it's waiting to be put into the cooler. So,
Wayne, you're 100% right, but do you wash your bananas?
no, I don't give a shit about all that.
Oh!
I
Oh,
don't care. I really don't care about all that. I just try to stay as clean as I can, and certain things like that don't matter, like you said. Sometimes, how do you know if you were handling money, you grab the chip.
Wayne, have a great day. WIBX 950 Utica, Rome. We'll be back next month. No, I'm kidding. Here's Fox News at the top of the hour.
Who's next? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Who will replace Kevin McCarthy?
Doing the right thing isn't always easy, but it is necessary.
He said that after becoming the first House Speaker voted out.
I do not regret negotiating. Our government is designed to find compromise.
But it was his compromising with Democrats to pass short-term funding to avert a government shutdown that prompted 8 Republicans, led by Congressman Matt Gaetz, to join Democrats voting McCarthy out.
I believe that we were destined to lose the House if we didn't do what we did today because we didn't give anyone something to believe in.
So now the House is in recess.
Until Republicans vote on a new speaker next week on Wednesday, putting the people's business on pause until they figure it out.
Fox Business Network's Hillary Vaughn at the Capitol.
Filling in the meantime, Congressman Patrick McHenry, who is Speaker pro tem, he's reportedly not interested in the job. But one name, though, that has been recirculating, Majority Leader Steve Scalise, who's been calling Republicans overnight, seeking support for Speaker.
A shooting last night has classes canceled this morning at Morgan State University in Baltimore.
We all tried to just get out the way. Everybody tried to get out and lay down, run, whatever you could.
5 students were wounded, but police still haven't found who did it. Mayor Brandon Scott vows to find them and demands Congress pass stricter gun laws.
We have to stop saying not one more. We need action now.
Former President Trump got in trouble in court on day 2 of the civil fraud trial in New York. He calls part of a witch hunt.
The judge imposed a partial gag order on both parties after a disparaging social media post was shared about one of his staffers. Former President Trump took down a post that he made on Truth Social. In it, he showed a picture of the judge's staff member with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Trump called the staffer Schumer's girlfriend and said that she's running the case against him.
That's Fox's Nate Foy outside the court in New York City. America's listening to Fox News.
All right, this just in. Pure Talk just added more 5G data to every plan and is now including a mobile hotspot with no price increase at all whatsoever. Just $20 a month for unlimited talk, unlimited text, and now 50% more 5G data, plus you get mobile hotspot. Start saving today. Go to puretalk.com, enter the promo code Sean, S-E-A-N, to make the switch to Pure Talk, and you do it now, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com, promo code Sean.
Identity theft shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, more than $29 billion were stolen last year alone. That's a criminal success story and a wake-up call for everyone else. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock makes it easy to help protect yourself if you become a victim. A dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. Join now and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com, promo code Clay.
Hunter Biden has some rules to live by imposed on the president's son after he pleaded not guilty to 3 felony gun charges in Wilmington, Delaware, where Fox's David Spunt reports.
Inside the courtroom, he sat just feet away from attorneys representing special counsel David Weiss, the man who just in July was ready to cut him a plea deal. That deal fell apart, and now Weiss wants to put the first son in prison, potentially for up to 25 years, though it's unlikely given no prior felonies. His conditions of release include he can't have a firearm, he must communicate all international travel, and get drug tested randomly. His lawyer says the Justice Department caved to, quote, political pressure from Donald Trump and Republicans. The probe has sparked outrage from critics who say Hunter has received preferential treatment.
3 U.S.-based scientists have just won the Nobel Prize for Chemistry.
These professors have managed to discover and make tiny particles called quantum dots. They're used in everyday electronics like LED displays. And the clarity of light they produce helps surgeons map cancer tissue. Moungi Bawendi, Louis Bruss, and Alexei Ekimov will share the $1 million prize. Bowendi is a professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Bruss is professor emeritus at Columbia University, and Ekimov is chief scientist for Nanocrystals Technology Incorporated in New York State. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures not moving much the day after a big sell-off. The baseball playoffs are underway, and the Twins finally win.
And that one is drilled deep to left field. Going back Varsho, turning, looking, see ya!
Royce Lewis hit that and another home run, powering Minnesota past Toronto 3-1 on ESPN, snapping the Twins' 18-game playoff losing streak dating back to 2004. In the other American League wildcard game, Texas shut out Tampa Bay 4-0. In the NL, Arizona beat Milwaukee 6-3. Philadelphia had a 4-1 win over Miami. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
All right, we have a few clouds. We are at 55 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:05. This news update brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. The man accused of kidnapping 9-year-old Charlotte Cena remains behind bars without bail. 46-year-old Craig Ross Jr. appeared in court yesterday. He was arraigned on a felony charge. It's alleged that Ross abducted the girl on Saturday while she was riding her bicycle at Moreau Lake State Park. Her disappearance started a large search, which ended Monday night when Cena was found safe in Milton. Authorities say there's no known connection between Ross and the Cena family. A woman in Oswego facing charges of attempted murder, allegedly setting a fire that resulted in a firefighter being hurt. Authorities say 25-year-old Samantha O'Neill started the blaze at a home on East 4th Street September 24th and knew there were people inside at the time. The firefighter was injured while he was trying to contain the flames, but is expected to be okay. 4 people were displaced, but they all made it out safely. New Yorkers being reminded of the nationwide emergency alert system test that's happening today. Alerts will be heard on radio, television, and cell phones beginning at approximately 2:20 Eastern. The goal of the test is to make sure that alert systems that currently exist are the best way to warn the public about emergencies. The emergency alert system, part of the test, is scheduled to last about a minute. No action is required on your behalf. Action, though, is required as October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the State Department of Health is urging people to get themselves screened for breast cancer. The department says mammograms are the best way to detect early cancer. Those with health insurance policies covered by state law don't have to pay any out-of-pocket expense for any breast cancer imaging. In New York, there are over 16,000 new cases of breast cancer reported each year and roughly 2,500 deaths. And there's been not been a Powerball jackpot winner since July. That could change tonight, though. The huge prize up for grabs this evening is $1.2 billion after no one had all 6 winning numbers on Monday. This is the 3rd largest Powerball jackpot in the history of the game. The drawing will be streamed live online at Powerball.com. Joe?
Will you be buying a ticket?
I might. I don't know.
There's no big thrill to me.
Here, where's my dollar? I'm just going to throw it in the trash.
Right.
Smitty, go light this dollar on fire. He's $2 on fire. Sorry, go ahead.
$1.2 billion.
Yeah.
Which, if you take the cash option with taxes and everything, it's like we figured it out yesterday. It's you take it divided by 4. It's basically $300 million.
$300 million.
If you
just
take it right up front.
Well, you don't have to pay taxes because you already have. I'd take $300 million tax free.
Mm-hmm. Well, right, but again, I feel like there should be. Speaking of disclaimers, there ought to be one in there that says it's not actually $1.2 billion; it's significantly less.
Yeah,
it's
especially because after we take our portion, but it'll go to California because they need it the most.
What if you donate it? What if you said, okay, of this 1.2 or 1.4 billion, I'm going to donate half of it. That would be tax deductible. Then you might end up with more.
I almost think as soon as you get to big numbers like this, like 1.2 billion, anything over anything over 100 million, give it to 100 different people. 100 people win $1 million.
I agree.
Let
Joe.
the money go out and around and get that economy fueled and fired up, and everybody can buy
give
new
it to
trucks
Ukraine.
from me. All right. Or yeah, give it to Ukraine.
Boy, you were off to a rough start, Joe, but now you're making points that I think make a lot of sense.
Well, just wake me up. I had my coffee. I'm going to do it.
It is 7:09. Your Weather Center forecast comes to you from Eyewitness News. How about this weather, guys? And it's going to, I think, peak today before it starts heading back the other direction. Here's what we can expect from Eyewitness News.
Fog.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, mostly sunny, near record warmth, the record high 86. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, mild for October standards, a low near 60. And tomorrow, breezy and still very warm, sunshine over to afternoon clouds, a high near 85. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
In sports, the first day of the MLB postseason is in the books, and nobody really cares, I don't think. The Texas Rangers began the day with a 4-0 shutout win over the Tampa Bay Rays in front of the smallest playoff audience since the 1919 World Series. Minnesota designated hitter Royce Lewis belted 2 home runs to help the Twins snap an 18-game playoff losing skid with a 3-1 win over the Blue Jays. The Diamondbacks rallied from an early 3-run deficit to down the Brewers 6-3 in Milwaukee. The Phillies began their National League title defense by cruising to a 4-1 win over the Miami Marlins. Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers, also ayahuasca enthusiast, says he will be well ahead of the normal protocols and still believes he can shock the world by returning from his Achilles injury this season.
To help the Jets finish 6-11.
During his weekly appearance on the Pat McAfee Show, Rodgers mentioned his mindset allows him to believe in making room for miracles. In addition to the torn Achilles, Rodgers is dealing with a deltoid issue. Oh, by the way, the typical recovery for that is 6 to 9 months. Although some experts have said it's possible to return in 4 to 5. A 4-month timetable would take Rodgers into mid-January. New York is tied for last in the AFC East at 1-3 and will visit the Denver Broncos in Week 5. You would think that would be a guaranteed win, but I think Chicago proved that that's not the case.
Apparently he's got dementia because he thinks he's Superman.
And finally, a pair of Giants dealing with injuries as a result of their attempt at a tush-push. Rookie center John Michael Schmitz and tight end Dan Bellinger left Monday night's loss to the Seahawks at MetLife Stadium and did not return. Schmitz is dealing with a shoulder injury, and Bellinger suffered a knee injury. Both are undergoing further tests to determine severity of injury. New York is last in the NFC East at 1-3 and will visit the Miami Dolphins in Week 5. WIBX 950 News Time, 7-11.
Let me just say that if Daniel Jones is worth 4 years, $160 million, I think Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes ought to be making $1 billion.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding.
My gosh, I was telling Uncle Smitty this morning. I was saying going into that game, I said, who's going to beat the Dolphins? The Buffalo Bills.
Oh yeah,
that game was
Yeah.
something else. You know, it was exciting first half, and I remember talking to the people I was watching the game with. It's going to take one mistake from one team, and then it's just going to turn everything on its head, and that's what happened.
Yeah, and if you're a Dolphins fan, don't hang your head. You play the Giants this weekend, so
That's guaranteed win.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It is 7:12, a busy hour coming up. We'll talk with Celeste Friend. She's back in town. She'll join us in studio. Also, Rome Mayor Jackie Izzo. We'll speak with her as well coming up this morning, and a lot more to get to as well. It is First News, Keeler in the morning, WIBX 950 AM, 106.9 FM. I did figure out the YouTube if you'd like to join us, get the video stream, and also we are, of course, always streaming the audio on the WIBX 950 mobile app. You can send us a message via the app, and we like to share those. I try to get to all of them, as long as they're mostly appropriate, although... sometimes, I don't know. I've got some comments on Gates and the whole situation there. We'll get to that and more. It is First News, Keeler in the morning, WIBX.
Adirondack Home Furniture is fully stocked from wall to wall with top quality, durable, American-made pieces for any room. With over 40 bedroom and dining room pieces on display and quality sofas starting at $8.99, you're sure to find the pieces to transform your home. And don't forget, Adirondack Home Furniture has more than just rustic pieces. They carry a wide variety of modern, farmhouse, and traditional styles. If you're looking to transform your home or complete a room with a few pieces, now is the time to buy. Because at Adirondack Home Furniture, you'll save the amount of the sales tax. Save the amount of the sales tax on any purchase for your living room, bedroom, office, and occasional furniture. All solid wood and American-made, including in-stock items, clearance items, and even special orders. Adirondack Home Furniture has the best value and top-quality furniture for your home. Visit them at the former Riverside Mall, Horatio Street, Utica, or browse the inventory online at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com.
I'm Anthony Pacenti,
As county executive, I tackled tough issues. I acted to make our schools safer for our children. I immediately stopped the immoral attempt to bus illegal migrants into Oneida County. I continue to work every day to combat the scourge of the opiate epidemic in our community. I will continue to tackle tough issues head on, and I won't let bad decisions in Albany stop us. And I ask for your vote on November 7th.
Leadership and a vision for the future is how Oneida County is moving forward. Oneida County Executive Tony Picenti.
We've made significant investments in healthcare and public safety, created new opportunities in tourism and youth sports, and invested big in high-tech, state-of-the-art research, resulting in high-quality jobs right here at home.
Oneida County is working, growing, and moving forward. On November 7th, let's keep it that way. Re-elect Tony Picenti, Oneida County Executive.
Paid for by Friends of Tony Picenti.
Life happens, and at Mohawk Valley FCU, we are here to help you through life's ups and downs. It's not always easy. Life isn't perfect. That's why Mohawk Valley FCU goes above and beyond for their members with higher interest accounts, superior service, easy loan approvals, and so much more. With locations on River Road in Marcy, in the State Office Building in Utica, and with mobile banking, you'll receive the best service no matter where you are. Mohawk Valley FCU now welcomes all Town of New Hartford employees. Member-focused, member-driven. Visit MohawkValleyFCU.org.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
At SimpliSafe, we've designed award-winning home security with advanced sensors, HD cameras, and now this 24/7 LifeGuard protection, only from SimpliSafe. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Attention business owners. This is John Souza, CEO of ERTC.com. The Employee Retention Tax Credit Program provides up to $26,000 per W-2 employee. If you're confused about the program, stop right now before it's too late. Don't fall for false promises and risk your business. All ERTC companies are not the same. The bottom line, there's no such thing as guaranteed eligibility, and being innovative with tax filings can lead to an audit. At ERTC.com, we won't mislead you to attest to your own eligibility. At ERTC.com, everything is done in-house by expert CPAs, and there's no cost to get started. With the ERTC.com Fast Track Refund Program, you may qualify to get your refund in as soon as 48 hours. Get started today at ERTC.com.
Get your free refund information now. 800-200-3009. 800-200-3009. That's 800-200-3009.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Poor turnout.
All right. First news, Keeler in the morning. WIBX at 7:18.
Good morning.
I'm up now.
It's Wednesday morning, October 4th. On this date.
Speaking of,
yeah, go ahead.
On this day, 27 years ago, my sister Abby Dermenio was born. So happy birthday to Abby.
Happy birthday, Abby.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. How about that?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
On 27 years ago.
Just had a frosty thought.
That also sounded like Mickey. Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, boy.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Well, I like whatever you guys had for breakfast. I think that's what I need in my
You
life.
should get back to the gym then.
I should.
Get
You're
off
right.
them
I should.
cancer sticks you're smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
seriously.
you
It's
brought
an
it up.
intervention.
Now I'm going to hammer you.
Intervention.
Yeah.
That'll teach me. 68 years ago, in 1955, the Brooklyn Dodgers beat the Yankees in Game 7, giving Jackie Robinson his only World Series
Thanks for
win.
reminding me.
1957, the space age officially began as the Soviet Union launched. You know what it was called?
Sputnik.
Very good. The first man-made satellite was sent into orbit. 66 years ago, in 1957, Leave It to Beaver premiered on CBS.
Jerry Mathers.
Let's see. Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here hit
Great
number
album.
1 on the album charts in 1975 on this date. Let's see. Beverly Hills 90210 premiered on Fox 33 years ago today. 2005, Nickelback released All the Right Reasons featuring Photograph and Far Away 18 years ago today.
Nobody cares.
And 4 years ago, Joker was released, starring Joaquin Phoenix as an Oscar-winning performance as
Amazing.
the mentally
That
ill
was-
stand-up
I really liked it. It was
comic
dark.
I'm Liz Clay.
Arthur Fleck.
Stop it.
There we go.
No, that was a good
It was
movie.
a great movie. Actually, it's very dark and kind of, I liked it.
Kind of
Yeah,
screwed up. Kind of screwed up, but it
Mhm.
was.
Yeah.
It really kind of gave a little behind the curtain of what people can be dealing with. you know?
Sure. There's a lot going on. That's why I say be happy to everybody and be nice to everybody, because you don't know what demons or what problems they have that they're dealing with. So today, good advice today. If you see somebody, be nice to somebody, all right? Let's
Yeah.
see if we can get that going.
Especially if
little
they're
contagious thought there.
Especially if they're rude or mean to you. The best response to that is being nice.
And as Joe says, with the inner demon, sometimes we'll all know what everybody's got on their insides at 2:20 this afternoon, right? When they do the emergency alert test.
You wait and see.
I'm going to go to Joe's house. I think I'll be safe there.
You'll be safe.
I would imagine you have a bunker and a food supply, the dry food supply. That
What,
they,
you don't believe in Patriot Food Supply?
So you do my Patriot
Well,
Supply?
I know
Yes,
it's a real
I
thing.
do. Yeah, they have containers, 25-year shelf life. You never know when there's going to be emergency. I mean,
especially now.
A tornado, maybe a huge snowstorm, and you're trapped in your house. I have plenty of protein.
I hope it's carb friendly there, Joe.
Listen, when it comes to survival, every calorie counts.
Where are we going here? I don't know. I want to say, did you have something? Oh, no, I was going to read these comments here. Okay, so this was an interesting comment that we got via the app. I ran down the 8 congressmen who voted, Republican congressmen who voted to oust McCarthy. Nobody in Congress likes Matt Gaetz. This is from conservative John in Boonville. I made that comment, and I don't know if it was a meme I saw or what, but anyway, I made that. I did say that last hour. John in Boonville says, nobody in Congress likes Matt Gaetz. Good. There was another Republican presidential candidate back in the day who was very unpopular, but he stuck to his guns. But he didn't do anything important. He only ended slavery. That man is now considered one of the greatest presidents of all time. I don't want my congressmen to be liked. I want them to hold to their convictions.
Please don't compare Matt Gaetz to Abraham Lincoln. Please.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah, I agree with Ann.
Who was that? Who was that? John?
John in Boonville.
I'll talk to you later, John.
You better go to that Stewart's and have a word with Joe.
John ends by saying, in the great words of Donald Trump, drain the swamp.
Amen
Yeah,
to
okay.
that.
Please don't also compare Matt Gaetz to Trump either, please.
No, because Trump's one of a kind.
Yeah.
Stephanie in Whitesboro. Good morning, Stephanie. She says, I got to tell you guys, best hour of radio I've heard in a long time. You had us rolling this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
We appreciate you, Stephanie.
And
Yes.
Mark Maxwell out there in West Canada area, down there along the West Canada Creek there, he says, awesome show, very entertaining. You guys are funny. Funny how? How
Like
how
a clown?
Like
Like I
funny
amuse
ha-ha or funny?
Like I amuse you?
I amuse you or something?
Let's see here. And then
How am I funny?
Sir in Utica, although I think it's Sue. I think there's a typo when she put in her nickname, because now I'm seeing I think it's Sue. But anyway, Sue sent me a photo, and this is great. It's a door lock where you close the latch, and it says the Giants defense, and instead of it being a metal bolt, it's a Cheeto.
I saw that. That's funny. It's an old Cheeto, but it's a Cheeto.
Yeah. How
I think the
apropos.
stale would give it a little more protection.
Oh,
but,
God.
How apropos. Let's see here.
Well, I don't think it was really so much the defense as their offensive line was very porous.
I told somebody yesterday, as a matter of fact, I think it was City Comptroller Bill Morehouse, that that Giants offensive line is single-handedly sending players to Canton. I mean, 11 sacks in one game. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's unreal.
4 players had multiple sacks in the game. I mean,
you can have Bakhtiari from our team. You know, he never plays, but he's the highest paid offensive lineman, and he hasn't played freaking
again,
a full season.
we pay our quarterback $40 million, and I don't even know if. Go ahead, Smitty.
How about Khalil Mack? Didn't have no sacks at all. Now he had 6 sacks on Sunday. Now he's the AFC sack leader.
It's unbelievable.
What are you going to do?
That's what happens. Sometimes you go to a different team, though, you know, and you find your new inspiration.
He had six sacks in one game on Sunday. Six.
Against who?
I don't know who the Raiders
play.
play.
The Devils, but he settled down in there.
Well, we're supposed to be doing 2-2-2 here, and oh my gosh,
he threw out a.
It's going to be an awful day.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen at 2.
You guys are killing me.
Well, with the precursor to later this afternoon, man.
Oh, you'd think it was Friday the 13th or something.
Mm-hmm.
Which is happening. October has a Friday the 13th this year.
It does.
Is that right? Yeah, today's Wednesday. Friday's the 6th, and the next Friday's the 13th.
The Raiders played the Chargers.
Yes, the Chargers. Herbert got beat up by Khalil Mack on Sunday.
Which I'm really not looking forward to because we have the Raiders on Monday night.
Do you are you guys into horror films? You guys are like that? You know
Lately,
about
I
that?
have been, yeah.
All right, so it's really not a big. I'm not a big fan of the horror films, but do you do haunted houses and stuff like that?
I try to avoid them because of my blood pressure and everything.
What? And you didn't
But
pack an extra pair of underwear or something? That's why you always leave an extra pair in the truck in case you happen to go to a haunted house and you have an extra pair.
I think KO Industrial in Rome is opening soon. I think they've got a few more days, and then they'll be open for the
They
season.
have
2
some
days.
kind of cool thing going on in Boonville, too, with this a haunted trail.
Okay.
Which I thought was kind of a cool idea. I think it's with the Elks up there. They do this haunted trail thing. I'll get more information for you so I can plug it legit the next time.
You can
I just threw a kind of a half-assed plug in there. You know, I'll get it right.
The last time I was in a haunted house, I screamed like Andrew when he sees a spider. It was terrible. Oh my goodness! I went running out the other side.
I'm always either in the front or the back, which neither of them is a good spot to be.
No, you want to be in the middle.
You want to be right in the middle because you're getting the full blown of you get the people in the back, they'll follow you creepily.
Yeah, and then the like
in the
ease up
front,
on
you're
you.
the first one to get the initial jolt of scared.
Yeah, you put some. You sacrifice your friends. You let
Right,
them go
push
ahead of
them
you.
ahead.
You got to watch though. Sometimes
I
they'll
love the
creep up
videos,
behind
though,
you.
of
You want to be
like-
in the middle, like the sandwich. You want to be right in the middle.
Yeah, I love the videos of people getting scared, but then the people who get scared like punch the people in the face.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to punch the people at the haunted house because they're volunteers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the whole idea. You go to a haunted house to be scared.
Yeah.
That's if you get off on that, I don't know. I'd rather go to a place and get an ice cream sundae. And be happy.
I'm with you, Joe. I'm with you. The 7 most haunted places in New York State that could scare you to death. Actually, we've got a story about this up on our website with a list of some of the places you can visit. Syracuse Road, so haunted it's closed at night. In Baldwinsville, New York, is a 5-mile stretch of a road cutting through the woods that is said to be so haunted they close it at night. Legends say evil groups come out at night.
The Crips.
Smitty.
to meet on Whiskey Hollow Road. The KKK and Satan worshipers are also said to have claimed a mile-long stretch of the middle of that road where they say racial killings and satanic sacrifices are rumored to have taken place in the remote woods. Many of those victims were children whose spirits still remain there. Some claim they have run into ghosts.
Really? So
Of
I
the small
got
kids.
a suggestion for this road.
Go ahead.
How about some lights, maybe?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Put a few street
Put
lights.
some street lights up. I mean, what? Come on.
I got another one here. The terrified mother and daughter haunted Syracuse Road for over a century. Now, what road is this? Seneca Hill on Route 57 in Oswego?
Huh. Sounds like you just stay out of Syracuse.
Is scary up there.
Yeah. One of the most haunted cemeteries in New York is home to the cursed Bronze Lady. Where is this one?
Oh, my God.
Cursed Browns
North
Lane?
Tarrytown. The cemetery is in a village that was known as North Tarrytown until it changed its name to Sleepy Hollow in 1996. Again, you can get the full list of this on our website if you're into this kind of a thing.
I mean, there's nothing on there about Beardsley?
Hang on, let me keep going.
Because when I was a kid, I used to go there.
I heard
I
a
don't
lot
see
about that.
Beardsley on. Wait, is this it?
The cemetery up there behind the old barn.
We used to go up to Star Hill as a kid.
Star Hill was another one.
Yeah.
I go there on a snowmobile, but that's about it.
It's not scary in the winter.
No, not in the wintertime.
The ghosts
the rocking
hibernate.
chair apparently is frozen into the ground. It doesn't rock.
They're hibernating.
But it's good snow up
Let's see
there. On
here.
Penn
So
Mountain
you don't
Trail.
believe in ghosts, Joe?
No,
But you
come
believe in
on.
zombies.
Well, obviously.
Obviously.
I mean, there are some Walking Dead out there. We've seen, bath salt images of people.
Or just people on their cell phones,
Right.
crossing the road.
Right.
315-736-0186 if you want to chime in this morning. And I'm checking our comments here once again. We'll be joined very shortly by Utica mayoral
Why?
candidate Celeste Friend.
You're into ghosts or something?
No,
Isn't
I'm
there,
not.
At
I'm
Rucker
not.
Park, isn't Rucker one of the houses
The
on Rucker,
mansions,
the mansion, they're haunted or they're having some kind of haunting thing going on there? I know they're having some witches thing at the Club Monarch. I don't know what the date of that is either, but I'm just throwing stuff out there. I'm filling. It's filler
Gotta get your
day.
plug quota.
Oh, boy. This is he's taking a shot at you here, Andrew.
Who's that?
Conservative John. Tell that rhino Andrew
Oh,
to learn
okay.
the difference between a comparison and an analogy. And tell Joey I'll come down and see him at Stewart's on Friday, and he can tell me how wonderful Kevin McCarthy is as I shove a few apple fritters down my gullet. Wow, everybody is on. Is today the 13th? Is it a full moon out there?
John, those fritters are on me, by the way, Friday.
I'll tell you, the moon was bright last night.
Did you see it the other night, the harvest moon, that orange moon? I got a little freaked out.
Yeah.
I figured maybe there was going to be some guy in a horse and a pumpkin running around, but I didn't see anything.
Well, I would tell conservative John that one of the biggest conservatives there is Mark Levin, and he has the same sentiments. He shares the same sentiments about Matt Gaetz. So.
All right, it is 7:30. We'll break for a quick news update here, and we'll move on to some serious business. It is First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. We are having a good time this morning, although I'd have to imagine they're going to cancel the show by tomorrow. They have some new hosts in
There was
here.
a reason why Bill never called me, and I just showed up.
Back after this on WIBX.
Want to avoid extreme energy bills? Turn down your thermostat with a new Rude energy-efficient furnace. Smart folks just choose Rude for efficient heating equipment for your home and your budget. Get comfortable with Rude and call Tri-County Heating at 315-829-4100 or check out their website, tri-countyheating.com.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Who doesn't love a great deal? We all do. And that's why Bremer's Wine and Liquor has carefully selected 8 very special wines and priced them under $8. Sure, we already offer hundreds of wines for less than $8, but these 8 wines are truly remarkable, handpicked by our experts. You'll be amazed by the quality you're getting for such a low price, including award winners like Wine Spectator Best Values and wines rated 90 points or higher by Wine Enthusiast. Reds, whites, rosés, whatever you're into, you'll find it. And we're constantly updating our 8 Under 8 selection to help you discover more new wines for less money. All of our 8 Under 8 are wines you'll love and want to share with friends. They're all hand-selected, deeply discounted, and they drink like you paid a lot more. Hey, you've got good taste, and so do we, for under $8. Adventure into great new wines with our 8 wines under $8 at Bremer's Wine and Liquor on Commercial Drive in New Hartford.
Warner Sales and Service, building relationships, building trust.
This is Lynn from Warner Sales and Service. If you are push mowing your yard, using an inefficient lawn tractor, or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see us at Warner Sales and Service on the Greenway New London Road in Rome, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona, and we'll guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at warnerss.com.
Warner's, where quality still counts at Warner's.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SIMPLE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SIMPLE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SIMPLE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
All right, good morning. WIBX News Time is 7:36. We have a few clouds, and we are still at 55 degrees. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit them online at clintontractor.net. Kevin McCarthy says he will not run again for House Speaker. McCarthy spoke last night after he was ousted from his leadership position in a historic vote forced by Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz. The California Republican said he doesn't have any regrets passing a spending bill over the weekend that avoided a government shutdown. The Biden administration is forgiving another $9 billion in student loan debt. The forgiveness announced today applies to 125,000 borrowers who have been on an income-driven repayment plan and public service loan forgiveness program. Cell phone alarms will be going off across the U.S. today. The federal government is conducting a nationwide test of the emergency alert system this afternoon. FEMA and the FCC are running the test to make sure that the alert system is running smoothly in case of emergencies. The jolting sound should start hitting phones, televisions, and radios around 2:20 this afternoon Eastern Time, 11:20 Pacific. 5 people injured after a Tuesday night shooting at Morgan State University in Baltimore. University police were on a routine patrol at around 9:30 last night when they heard gunfire and found 4 men and 1 woman with non-life-threatening injuries. During an early morning press conference, police said there is no suspect in custody at this time. Last month was the hottest September on Earth ever. Climate scientists say the planet's average temperature last month shattered the previous September record by 0.9 of a degree Fahrenheit, more than half a degree Celsius. That's the biggest monthly margin ever observed. And today is National Taco Day. Excuse me. On October 4th, Americans today will celebrate their love of beef, cheese, and lettuce folded up into a crispy tortilla. And Andrew, you prefer the soft tacos?
Soft taco.
Yeah, I like the crunch. You need
or the
crunch
burrito
in
junior, as I call it.
Restaurants across the country will be offering deals and discounts on tacos today. Some of the major chains are celebrating as well. I'm not familiar with these. Del Taco, El Polo Loco. Never heard of that.
I've never heard of that, no.
Jack in the Box, that one I know. Taco Bell, of course, which is bringing back its popular taco subscription service.
So what's that? You
I've
pay
got-
monthly and you can go get a taco whenever you want?
I guess so. I'll read just details coming up in a second. I actually had that in the show prep this morning. WIBX News Time, 7:38. Speaking of record temperatures, we could break our local high today, which is 86 degrees, looking at a high in the mid to maybe upper 80s. Here's what we
Nice.
can expect from Eyewitness News.
Oh, boy. I don't have that there. Hold on.
1 second here. 7:38. Giving you a second, buying some time. Go to the log. Go to the top of the hour.
Yeah.
And let me know which one it's on.
I'm a rookie here, so I've got a Beck.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, mostly sunny, near record warmth. The record high, 86. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, mild for October standards, a low near 60. And tomorrow, breezy and still very warm, sunshine over to afternoon clouds, a high near 85. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
Right now, we have cloudy skies, a few clouds, 55 degrees. Did you see this weekend? I mean, we're 86 today. We're looking at like Sunday's highs like 55, Monday's highs 54.
That's
that's the overnight low that we've been seeing.
Central New York weather for you. You got a sweater in the morning and a T-shirt in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's making a turn here. I love the fall when we get the hot days and the cool nights. It's for me, it's really enjoyable. I love it, but
it's just all it means is winter's coming, and
Yeah.
I hate that.
No, I know.
It really does
coming.
It really does impact your mood, and they say that Central New York, is the most cloudiest part of the country.
One of the allegedly that's why, and this could be an old wives' tale. I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard claims that that's the reason there's a base in Rome was because of.
The clouds?
Because of the clouds and the sky conditions here. So, Chuck Lester on the line. It is 7:40. Good morning, Chuck. How you doing?
Good morning, folks. How's it going today?
Very good. What's up?
Well, listening to yesterday's show with Lou the Liberal, it reminded me so much of a Monty Python skit when they were interviewing Ann Elk, and they kept asking her a question, and she would not answer, and if you don't shut up, I'm going to shoot you. That's what it boils down to. And this is what is wrong with the country. You've got somebody that is so clueless, so hell-bent on their ideology, they can't look past the nose on their face. But that being said, I did want to say that, getting back to what happened yesterday with our I don't even want to call it a government because there are a bunch of idiots that we've got in office right now on both sides, and I'll say that.
Yep.
And I'm a registered Republican my whole life. I am conservative as hell.
You?
But the idea is that right now the country that they admit to is $32 trillion in debt. We've got an open border that they claim they admit to somewhere around 8 million people have flooded our country that we know nothing about. So the number is higher. Inflation is crazy. Gas prices are almost $4 a gallon again. You go to the grocery store, you can carry out $100 worth of groceries with your pinky finger. And we got these people infighting against each other. I will say that the best thing people could do is become part of the Convention of States, where if we get enough states to go along with it, we can actually amend the Constitution and put term limits in at all federal levels of government, bureaucracies included, so they get these people the hell out of there and get our country back to what it's supposed to do.
There's, Chuck, it's very well said, and, there's a lot of narcissism in Washington. That's all I'll say.
Oh, are you kidding me? It's everywhere. And the idea is they keep talking that, the people want us to get stuff done. No, we don't. You've done enough as it is to destroy the country.
Stop helping us.
I've got 3 grandkids, that are young. And the idea is the federal government was founded by geniuses so that they did 3 things, the federal government: monetary system, common defense, and interstate commerce. And look at all they got their hands in right now.
Yeah.
And the other thing I'll say, too, is I was listening to one of my favorite talk shows the other day. I listen to IBX all day because it's talk and it's background. And, I'm not hanging on every word because I'm working. But the idea is that they're crazy. They keep telling us they're going to do stuff and do stuff and do stuff for the people. No, they're not. They're working in their own self-interest, and instead of trying to represent the tax-paying citizens, it's like if they were responsible for the money that they spend, they would not be spending it the way they are.
Chuck, I appreciate the call, man.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Hey, I was kidding with Davey, too. I said that, I want to help out the Three Stooges. So the fourth stooge was calling in, and that was me.
Shem, thank you, Shem.
Okay, guys, God bless. And tell Joe Lowe not to get too rambunctious and try to run the Boilermaker in a couple of years, because that's my 30th anniversary as the stilt guy, and I don't want him to usurp me.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Thank you, Chuck.
Okay, God
Appreciate
bless.
it.
See you guys later.
You too.
That's an interesting point that Chuck brought up. It's almost like I want to say to some of these people, you have a budget for your own household and your own family and your own life, right? You're not going to spend more than you can afford to take care of your own family and your bills and your needs, right? So why are you doing that with the budget of the country? It's just mind-blowing sometimes.
It's not their money.
Exactly.
744, Tom's on the line in Utica. Hey, Tom.
Hey, I just want to say no constitutional convention, for the love of heaven. We have a perfectly marvelous constitution. The tweaks that they're wanting to put in with term limits, and I was, for a long time completely convinced that term limits were great. But they're a Band-Aid cure. But what a constitutional convention would expose us to, especially in the current atmosphere of politics and the current balance of, let's say the Democrats versus the Republicans, the socio-Marxists versus the constitutionalists. What would happen would be if we got a constitutional convention together, the socio-Marxists are so organized, and the constitutionalists, say right-wingers or whatever else, but that's not really true. We'll just say constitutionalists, are so fractured that what would happen would be we'd get this constitutional convention and the Marxists would tear us apart. They would put new things into that constitutional convention to be voted on, and we would come out with an America that didn't look anywhere near what the founders had intended. And the founders were pretty bright. They kept this outfit going for as long as it has with just easily amended items. And if term limits are going to be put in, just have it in the amendment process.
Yeah.
You don't have to build a bath to wash the baby in and then throw the baby in the bathwater out with a Constitution going down the drain too. Just have an amendment, a constitutional amendment, and if everybody in the country, I don't know, is it 2/3 of the states? I'm not exactly right up on that, but just go with surgical precision at changing what you don't want.
Yeah. It's a can of worms that we don't want opened.
Yeah,
really,
I think so. Tom in Utica, I appreciate the phone call. I hesitate to read this response because it's kind of mean. I will share it, though. And
Towards me?
No.
Oh.
This is Deeds. He says, Chuck Lester calling anyone an idiot is hilarious.
Okay.
That's kind of mean, but we've been.
Well, he brought up some good points this morning. I'll just
swinging
say that.
the axe at each other this morning here. We'll put the sharp tools away. Rome Mayor Jackie Izzo is in this morning. We'll be
breath
we'll be
of fresh
kind.
air.
Yes. Good morning, Mayor.
A ray
How
of
are
sunshine.
Good morning.
We're going to do our free money question of the day. We're going to kick that to the 8 o'clock hour. We'll take a quick time out here, though. It is 7:48. First News, Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
I'm Anthony Pacenti. As county executive, I tackled tough issues. I acted to make our schools safer for our children. I immediately stopped the immoral attempt to bus illegal migrants into Oneida County. I continue to work every day to combat the scourge of the opiate epidemic in our community. I will continue to tackle tough issues head on, and I won't let bad decisions in Albany stop us. And I ask for your vote on November 7th.
Leadership and a vision for the future is how Oneida County is moving forward. Oneida County Executive Tony Picenti.
We've made significant investments in healthcare and public safety, created new opportunities in tourism and youth sports, and invested big in high-tech, state-of-the-art research, resulting in high-quality jobs right here at home.
Oneida County is working, growing, and moving forward. On November 7th, let's keep it that way. Re-elect Tony Picenti, Oneida County Executive.
Paid for by Friends of Tony Picenti.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information that you should know regarding your estate planning. Specifically, you should have prepared what is known as the Big Three. Basic estate planning is comprised of the three main documents that you need. First is the will, next is the healthcare proxy, and last is the power of attorney. What most people don't know is how important of the three the power of attorney really is, because New York State has no simple method for you to act on another's behalf if they become incapacitated. I am often asked, what is probate and why is it needed? Probate is the act of administering the will through the New York State court system. It requires a filing fee and other actions to be taken, as well as a petition to be filed. It is time-consuming and can be expensive. It can be avoided by using a living trust. To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Hilton, you know the name. They know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
It is 7:50 on a Wednesday morning, October 4th. We are more than halfway through the program here this morning. If you're listening for the free money question of the day, stay tuned. We'll get to that next hour. It'll be for $100.
Oh, and, so a little bit of a moderate prize today, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think last time I was here, I was giving the store away.
$500.
Joe Hobeika won't take my calls anymore. So it's 7:50. Roe Mayor Jackie Izzo is in studio. She just recently unveiled the budget proposal. You can send us a question via the app, or you can call in at 315-736-0186. Mayor, we'll begin with, first of all, good morning.
Good morning.
We want to give you an opportunity. What's an overview of the budget and some things that you want to highlight before we get to our questions?
Well, we were able to hold the taxes again for the 7th straight year. That's always we always want to have a zero budget. I think the biggest message in this budget is wages and salaries. New York State, again, raising the minimum wage. It's $14.20 now. It's going to $15 in January. We're at the point, and I predicted this 8 years ago when they started this, eventually the bottom catches up to the middle and the top.
100%.
And that's where we are. There's not even a seasonal wage anymore. So all of our temporary workers, our seasonal workers, people that work at the Kennedy Arena, at the parks, we're paying them a minimum of $15 in these jobs. So those expenses have gone up, but we had all 4 of our union negotiations were this year. I'm happy to say that we settled all of our contracts with no mediation, no arbitration.
That's rare nowadays. You're looking at
rare.
What's happening with healthcare workers, the United Auto Workers,
Yes.
What's happening in Hollywood and New York. It's a lot of striking going on.
Well, both sides worked very, very hard at it. But what we needed to do, we had to really open it up. Base salaries really hadn't been addressed in around 20 years.
Oof.
Yeah. So we did some comparison shopping across the state to see where we landed with salaries, and we were behind in some areas. So we were able to catch those up, and especially in the areas of public safety, police and fire. We have to remain competitive. We used to be a leader. We dropped back a little bit, and I think that's because there were a few years, a couple of administrations ago, where they gave zeros because at the time the economics weren't good. But when you do that, you have to kind of catch up a little bit as you're moving along.
Yeah.
And so I think we just kind of dragged there. So I'm very happy that we were able to do that. But it's a strain on our overall budget now. We've got to find all the unions averaged around 3.5% raises, which is pretty much in line with the country.
Mm-hmm.
But now we've got to find that money. Luckily for us, our sales tax has been growing at a nice pace because we've been adding businesses. We've been adding opportunities for people to spend money in Rome before they leave the city, which we didn't have before with, more convenience stores and gas.
Yeah.
That's important. Starbucks just opened, so more opportunities for, coffee and things like that, things that people are interested in picking up fast. Stewart's, I heard you talking about Stewart's earlier, but Stewart's, Burn Dairy, those stores are great because they also offer so much grab-and-go food. So we had nothing near the Griffiths Park. People that came to work at Griffiths until the Stewart's was there, they left Rome without buying any gas, without buying any types of groceries or a quick ice cream or something quick for lunch. So we're picking up, and of course, we've had restaurants open there and in the city. So that helps us with sales tax. Our property tax is growing, but of course, it's never going to grow at a pace that's quick enough to catch up with all of this activity. So this budget really was about writing our personnel, and then we have to plan for that in the future. And when we budget, we normally look at multi-year budgeting, so we know where we're going into 25, 26, 27. We've got that plan in front of us. And of course, you have to continue to provide services at a very high level, and that's one of the things I'm most proud of. We've been holding the line on the taxes, but we have not sacrificed the services. That's important.
Yeah.
So you said 8 years now without a tax increase?
7.
7 years. When you talk about future budgeting, where you're going in 25, 26, 27, are you anticipating a tax increase there in order to account for? Because it's got to be difficult to have a zero tax increase when you talk about upping the pay, and how do you account for that money?
Well, no, we never anticipate a tax increase. What we're looking at more so there when we're talking about that is equipment purchases, preventive maintenance, annual maintenance, and how do we purchase that? I think that's where our business side experience comes in. We took a lot of things. Government always thinks you spend all the money at once. We've taken lots of projects. If you need, let's say one of our buildings, we need to replace all the windows.
Yeah.
Well, we'll start a multi-year plan to do that so we can spread that cost out. If we need to replace a roof, okay, if we can't do it this year, we look for, okay, can we fit it in the next couple of years? And if we do that, what do we get done now that's within our means so that we can get the roof done? Because that's a huge ticket item. And then we look at our capital spending. The backbone of the budget is the capital spending, and we try to keep that very steady. For instance, this year, our department started with a wish list of around $17 million worth of capital improvement expense.
Keyword wish list.
Yes. We whittled that down to a more manageable $7 million maybe, because we're looking at our debt service. We don't want our debt service to increase too quickly because that's going to raise the tax rate. The cost of money now is much higher with interest rates being so high.
Yeah.
So we have to plan like that. So those things, you're constantly looking at the finances, and this budget, when it's presented, it's the mayor's budget. I mean, you've put it together. You have to be able to understand it and sell it.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what some of the capital projects are that'll be included, that you've proposed in this budget?
Well, capital spending is, for instance, in public works. This year, we had intended to buy a couple of new large dump trucks for plowing. All of the orders were canceled because the manufacturer couldn't fulfill them. So now we have to plan next year to buy some of those and keep pushing them off. So things like that, those are big ticket items. They're over $100,000.
Well, and that's tough too, because I don't think interest rates are going to come down very soon. Eventually they will, hopefully, but not probably next year.
I mean, we were borrowing money at sometimes 0.9% interest rates or 1 or 2. That's like playing with your own money.
Yeah.
So those days are gone for the foreseeable future. So we have to live with that.
There are a lot of companies that are, especially you mentioned Starbucks, but that whole Black River Boulevard area,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't even believe what's going on there. You've got the Tallman's that is opening, if they haven't already.
They're very busy.
Yeah, so that's been opened up and kind of taking up a lot of the vacant space that's been in that plaza there and in that area.
Well,
so that'll help, hopefully.
Well, yeah, what a great job they did there. I mean, they demolished all of the really old buildings, cleaned that corner up. That's over $1 million investment there,
Yeah.
and they're doing terrific, really, really well, and they're keeping their other store.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're busy enough that they're keeping the other store. So that's fantastic, and we can't thank them enough for what they've done building that new facility. But we have that all over Rome. If you look in our Erie Boulevard corridor, same thing. Stewart's moves into the C-store. They cleaned up a whole corner area there, and they're doing great business. We just have a lot of those stories around Rome now.
Kathy in Rome's got a question. Kathy, we've only got about a minute left this hour, so if you could, just please make your question quick.
I was wondering when the Boulevard project was going to start, and also when we might see Paul Revere lit up.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thanks, Kathy.
I believe the Boulevard project that Kathy's referring to is the TAP project that'll take place between James Street and Madison Street. So the Boulevard is owned by the state. So this is a project in conjunction with DOT. I believe that we have the last of the easements. I don't know whether construction will get underway in this season or next. But there are a lot of things that have to be done along the way because we're taking the service road out. There are some easements with the businesses so we can cross that. And then as far as when will Paul Revere be lit up, I know that I just talked to one of the executives at Revere. They're still doing the study of their building structural study to make sure that the new sign, that building will be strong enough to hang the sign on. So they're moving along with their plans. They have a target date of July 4, 2024.
Great job on the timing, both of you. That was excellent. It is 8 o'clock, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome. Mayor, stay with us, and we'll continue this conversation on the other side. It's 8 o'clock.
A lot of House Republicans are not happy. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It's a bad day for our country because eight members of our conference gave Joe Biden and Chuck Schumer unified control of the government, at least until we can figure out a path for a new speaker.
GOP Congressman Kelly Armstrong, the day after Kevin McCarthy, was the first speaker ever voted out, led by 8 Republicans, including Congressman Tim Burchett, who also tells Fox.
This speaker was woefully lacking in leadership skills. He always placed the blame somewhere else. America is going to be better off with new leadership.
So who does he support to take over?
Possibly could be Steve Scalise. It could be Elise Stefanik. It could be Roger Williams out of Texas.
They'll vote next week. The House is in recess now until then. A disaster in Italy. A bus full of tourists crashed near Venice, killing 21 people.
They've removed the mangled wreckage of the electric bus that plummeted 30 feet over the edge of a bridge. It caught fire, says firefighter Mario Luongo. They found all the people inside the bus engulfed in flames. The scene was really difficult.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. They're still searching for whoever shot and wounded 5 people last night at Morgan State University, where classes are canceled. As auto workers picket again today, another strike has just started in the last hour.
Over 75,000 Kaiser Permanente employees are set to walk off the job after a coalition of labor unions representing the workers notified the company last month that it would carry out the 3-day strike starting today if a new contract was not reached in time.
That's Fox's Ted Lindner. Now, this affects hundreds of hospitals in California, Colorado, Maryland, Oregon, Virginia, and Washington State and D.C. 3 scientists here in the U.S. are having a good morning, winning the Nobel Prize for Chemistry for their work with what are called quantum dots, used in everything from TV screens to cancer treatment. America's listening to Fox News.
All right, this just in, Pure Talk just added more 5G data to every plan and is now including a mobile hotspot with no price increase at all whatsoever. Just $20 a month for unlimited talk, unlimited text, and now 50% more 5G data, plus you get mobile hotspot. Start saving today. Go to puretalk.com, enter the promo code Sean, S-E-A-N, to make the switch to Pure Talk, and you do it now, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com, promo code Sean.
Identity theft shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, more than $29 billion were stolen last year alone. That's a criminal success story and a wake-up call for everyone else. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock makes it easy to help protect yourself if you become a victim. A dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. Join now and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com, promo code Clay.
We have mostly cloudy skies, 56 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:03, and this news update is brought to you by City Suburban. Thank you, Smitty. The man accused of kidnapping Charlotte Cena remains behind bars. He's being held without bail. That's 46-year-old Craig Ross Jr. He appeared in court and was arraigned on a felony charge. It is alleged that Ross abducted the girl on Saturday while she was riding her bike at Moreau Lake State Park. Her disappearance, of course, sparked a large search that ended Monday night when she was found safe in Milton. No known connection at this time between Ross and the Cena family. New Yorkers being reminded of a nationwide emergency alert system test that will be happening today. It'll be heard on radio, television, and cell phones at approximately 2:20 Eastern this afternoon. The goal of the test is to make sure that alert systems that currently exist are the best way to warn the public about emergencies. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the State Department of Health is urging people to get themselves screened for breast cancer. The department says mammograms are the best way to detect cancer early. Those with health insurance policies covered by state law do not have to pay any out-of-pocket costs for breast cancer imaging. In the Empire State, there are over 16,000 new cases of breast cancer reported each year, with over 2,500 deaths. And the Powerball jackpot now at $1.2 billion. The huge prize up for grabs tonight. No one matched all 6 winning numbers on Monday, although there were two $2 million winners, one from Newburgh, New York. This is the third biggest Powerball jackpot in the history of the game. The drawing was going to be streamed live at Powerball.com. WIBX News Time is 8:05, and thanks to Uncle Smitty, I am remembering it this morning. Your Keeler cash code for 8 a.m. is 835-835. Just enter the code at WIBX950.com, and you could win some of Keeler's cash. Here's your forecast.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, mostly sunny, near record warmth, the record high 86. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, mild for October standards, a low near 60. And tomorrow, breezy and still very warm, sunshine over to afternoon clouds, a high near 85. For more near local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
Well, the first day of the MLB postseason in the books, the Rangers beat the Rays 4-0 in front of the smallest playoff audience since 1919. Minnesota designated hitter Royce Lewis belted 2 home runs to help the Twins snap an 18-game playoff losing skid with a 3-1 win over the Blue Jays. The Diamondbacks beating the Brewers 6-3 in Milwaukee, and the Phillies began their National League title defense by cruising to a 4-1 win over the Marlins. Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers says he is well ahead of normal protocols and still believes he can shock the world by returning from his Achilles injury this season. A typical recovery for a deltoid injury, which is also something he's dealing with, is 6 to 9 months, though some experts have said it's possible to return in 4 to 5. A 4-month timetable would take Rodgers into mid-January. The Jets are tied for last in the AFC East at 1-3 and visit the Broncos in Week 5. And a pair of Giants are dealing with injuries as a result of their attempt at the tush push. Rookie center John Michael Schmitz and tight end Daniel Bellinger left Monday night's loss to the Seattle Seahawks at MetLife Stadium and did not return. The Giants are last in the NFC East at 1-3 and will visit the Dolphins for a tough one in Week 5. WIBX 950 news time is 8:07. And we are still joined here by Jackie Izzo in studio, Mayor of Rome. Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor. You want to take a 60-second timeout?
Sure,
we'll come
we can do
back.
that.
A couple more questions for the mayor. We will be joined by Celeste Friend coming up this hour. We'll talk with Paul Buckley as well, and we'll check in with NBC's Ryan Nobles, the latest from Capitol Hill on what happened yesterday. We'll get his take, that and more. It's 8:07 at WIBX.
Hi, my name is Dr. Kyle Angelicola Richardson. I'm practicing out of Rome Health and Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, specializing in upper extremity.
Rome Health, WIBX's industry ace.
I grew up here in Rome, New York. I played baseball at RFA and at Mohawk Valley Community College. Looking forward to being back, to filling a need here. My specialty is hand and upper extremity. That includes carpal tunnel and trigger finger. I'll also be treating sports injuries, overuse injuries in the elbow and the shoulder, instability in the elbow and the shoulder. I treat adults and children. I've dealt with a number of sports injuries myself. I know exactly what it feels like to be looking back to getting onto the field again, but with the proper help and rehab, you can get back on the field or back to work or back to living a healthy life. So if you're having any upper extremity problems or issues, please reach out to your primary care provider, get a referral to Rome Health.
Learn more about Rome Health's orthopedics and sports medicine care at romehealth.org.
Cat Video fans, get ready for the event of the century. Cat Video Fest 2023, this Saturday at the Rome Capitol Theater. Kitten and cat displays in the lobby at 1:30 and at 2:30, local cat videos, followed by the main feature, Cat Video Fest 2023, featuring the best cat videos on the planet. Cat Video Fest this Saturday at the Rome Capitol Theater. Don't miss it.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right. There we go. 8:09. First news, Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Bill is off today. It is 8:09. We are joined by Rome Mayor Jackie Izzo. Lance and Lee chiming in. Good morning, Lance. A couple of questions here quickly we want to get to. We're talking about the mayor's budget this morning. The proposal has come out for the 7th straight year, no tax increase. And we've been talking about some of the capital projects and some other things included in the budget. Lance says, why is the majority of the Common Council seeming to be at odds with the mayor? Is that true? Do you feel that way?
I think legislators and executives always seem to be at odds. Let's look at what's happening in Washington.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, there are issues that they may not agree on, but you know, the pressure on the executive to make a decision for the good of the community, you have to take everyone into account. So I think that's always different. And there are other factors that you're having to take into play, personnel issues and things that might be simmering in the background that drive decisions. But, you know, if you look at our record, I've made decisions that are for the best of the community, not for someone's special interest. And I think that those types of things can always be adversarial.
Well, what's the old saying? You can please some people sometime, but you can't please all people all the time.
Exactly. And, you know, when you're in a job like this, you're only maybe going to get 50-50.
Yeah.
You're never going to please everyone. So you've got to have the confidence to go with the decision that you feel is best for the most amount of people and for your community.
He says, isn't the increase in sales tax, we talked about the revenue, the additional sales tax revenue. He says, isn't the increase in sales tax mostly due to inflation? Things cost more, so naturally the tax revenue would be more.
No, because if you've looked at the trajectory of the sales tax, our sales tax has been growing exponentially every year for the last 7 years. So I don't know, that's not true. And that the reason is more business is being conducted in Rome where people have opportunities to spend more money there. We're capturing more money in the community than we did before. As I said earlier in the earlier hour, we have more opportunities before you leave Rome to buy things like gas and sundries, and Hobby Lobby's coming in next year. That's an opportunity. Runnings came in.
Hannaford was huge.
Hannaford was huge for grocery.
I was just over there
you know, we've
2
brought
days ago.
a lot of big corporations, and Price Chopper, Market 32 did that huge renovation, changed their store. That's going to attract more customers. There are more restaurants in Rome. So no, because you've got to look at it through the years. We've been growing every year pretty steadily.
Joe Load is on the line with a question. Go ahead, Joe.
Yes, not just a question, but a statement. And hello, Mayor Izzo. I am not a Roman, although I do have ties to Rome. My cousins used to live on Locomotive Ave. My brother-in-law works for Revere Copper, and I did frequent some of the old establishments like JJ's and the Bogey. But I will say, just a bystander from the East here, you've done a fantastic job in Rome. You've always been professional, and if the city of Rome doesn't get their head out of their ass and vote for you, then something's wrong there.
Well, he's been in rare form this morning.
Yes,
so.
he has.
Well, thank you, Joe, but I don't know if the FCC is going to be happy with you.
No, but you've done a great job in the city of Rome. I've seen things happen there that, you know, I can only hope that our city here to the east emulates, you've done a great job. I mean, again, just a bystander, standing outside and watching what's going on. I think you do a fabulous job.
Well, thank you, and I think the two cities are doing a good job. You know, the two cities have to have a strong economy. That's driving the region. And there's so much going on in Utica as well. And the two cities must complement each other. We have to keep pace with what's happening. So thank you very much. We appreciate that. And anytime you're in our area, Joe, please stop in.
Absolutely.
Oh, he will. There's plenty of businesses he wants to plug out that way.
Well, I got to tell you, one business I've been frequenting a lot because I have a listing over in that area is Norris Candy Shop. I must have bought 4 or 5 jars of turkey joints in the last 2 weeks. So.
Oh, you're good for the economy.
Oh, yeah. I'm helping with the sales tax.
Mayor, we appreciate you staying for the extra segment here and answering a couple of additional questions. Also, I want to commend you. Joe calls up, says you're doing a great job, gives you a lot of compliments, and you respond to that by saluting a neighboring city for the job that they're doing. So,
it's so important. I mean, we are one region, and we have to, I've always had a great working relationship with Mayor Palmieri, and I can truly say that if a business was looking to locate here someplace, if one of the two of us couldn't accommodate it, we always contacted the other one first. We didn't want to lose the business, and that's the most important because we've got to build the area.
Thank you.
And very soon the new hospital is going to open, and I think that's
less than 30 days.
Yeah, I think that is a great asset for the entire region.
Rome Mayor Jackie Izzo, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Have a great day, guys.
It is 8:15. A quick timeout. We'll take 60 seconds here. Up next, a woman who hopes to be the mayor of the city of Utica. She'll join us next. Celeste Friend on WIBX.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply and the New Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them 315-724-6767 and online at hnhmedicalny.com. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies, we make life easier.
Attention business owners, this is John Souza, CEO of ERTC.com. The Employee Retention Tax Credit Program provides up to $26,000 per W-2 employee. If you're confused about the program, stop right now before it's too late. Don't fall for false promises and risk your business. All ERTC companies are not the same. The bottom line, there's no such thing as guaranteed eligibility, and being innovative with tax filings can lead to an audit. At ERTC.com, we won't mislead you to attest to your own eligibility. At ERTC.com, everything is done in-house by expert CPAs, and there's no cost to get started. With the ERTC.com Fast Track Refund Program, you may qualify to get your refund in as soon as 48 hours. Get started today at ERTC.com.
Get your free refund information now. 800-200-3009. 800-200-3009. That's 800-200-3009.
Warner Sales and Service, building relationships, building trust.
Contractors and landscapers, rent your way to greater profits with Bobcat equipment from Warner Sales and Service. From heavy work right down to the fussy stuff, Bobcat loaders, excavators, and a wide variety of attachments will handle all the tough jobs like lifting, digging, pushing, carrying, as well as the more precise applications, grading and leveling. You'll be able to take on more jobs and get your current projects done with Warner Sales and Service. Whether it's the tough lifting and digging or the more precise work with attachments, you name it. Warner Sales and Service has the Bobcat rentals to make sure your projects get done. Tough jobs demand tough equipment. So when you have a tough job, rent a Bobcat machine. Stop in today at Warner Sales and Service, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona, and at warnerss.com.
Warner's, where quality still counts. At Warner's.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
8:17, First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Thank you again to Rome Mayor Jackie Izzo. And as I mentioned, a woman who wants to be the next mayor of the city of Utica, Celeste Friend, joining us in studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to the area.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to address, you were away, you had the fundraiser down in the city. I know we've talked a bit about this previously. I'll let people decide. People can decide how they feel. pro or con on that, but what do you want to say about it?
So, I mean, this was a fundraiser organized and hosted by the Working Families Party. They endorsed me. I had their line. I've had their line every time I've run, and I have their line this time. And this is a very typical thing that groups do when they endorse a candidate. They're not just it's not just, putting their name on your materials, right? It's that they're endorsing you. They want you to win. So they offer their support of various kinds. So they hosted a fundraiser for myself and another upstate candidate, somebody running for the county legislature in Onondaga County. And so it's not a big deal. It's actually pretty typical. People in Utica may not be used to mayoral candidates doing this, but I like to think that I'm not your typical mayoral candidate.
So is the fundraiser over? Was it a one-day event, or
it was a 2-hour event like any other fundraiser? It was a meet and greet, have some hummus on a piece of pita, talk to the candidate.
Love hummus.
Hummus and
Mediterranean diet is
there. You go. Hummus and baba ganoush and pita.
There you go.
It was that kind of thing. It was just like any other fundraiser, and people will see when my disclosure comes out, which actually there's another one coming out soon. They'll see they'll see.
Do you think you
donations
did
from
well? I'm not asking for a dollar amount.
No,
but
that's
you think
fine.
you did well?
I didn't. I'm one of those people who is wildly optimistic in life.
Mhm.
So I had dreams of and
You were hoping Sam was right, $100,000.
I was hoping Sam was right. I thought, wouldn't that be really cool? So it did not come up to those expectations, but and that's the story of my life. I didn't get 20 presents at Christmas under the tree. That's just the nature of my personality. But I was glad I went. I met some people who founded the Working Families Party, and that was really cool, given that I do have their support. I got to have breakfast at Veselka. I don't know if you guys know the East Village, but this is a long-standing Ukrainian restaurant on the corner of 9th Street and 2nd Avenue.
Oh, cool.
I used to live in that area, so it was really cool to have breakfast at Veselka, and then we came home. It was a whirlwind trip.
Andrew, I'll just mention, you talked about the hummus. I'm sure that goes well on the Mediterranean diet with the turkey joints. I mean, that's a good.
It certainly does. You dip the turkey joints in the hummus.
In the baba ganoush. That's the Utica version of the
smoky,
Mediterranean
yes,
diet.
exactly.
The upstate Mediterranean diet.
I know one of the things you want to focus on is you want to talk about issues and in particular public safety. So we'll throw some questions at you, but I'll let you take the lead on public safety, the things that you want to highlight if you're elected mayor of the city of Utica.
Right. So the reason that I was frustrated yesterday having to talk about lawn signs, because this is not what people want us to talk about. People are living here in the city. Some of them are really living through various kinds of gun violence, and they don't feel safe in their neighborhoods, etc. And public safety is way up at the top of the list of the things that people talk to me about, talk to my volunteers about when we go to their houses to listen to them and listen to their concerns. So public safety is really high on their list. I am really looking forward to hiring a full-time public safety commissioner. That is required by the charter. We haven't had a separate independent, and by independent I mean like independent of politics, somebody who doesn't have to worry about getting reelected, an independent public safety commissioner, full-time, who does nothing but think about public safety from the widest lens possible, thinking about long-range solutions, thinking about what are the important investments to make in order to make our city safer. Now, we haven't had one of those for 12 years. Mayor Palmieri appointed himself to be the public safety commissioner, in part because he was really concerned with cutting costs everywhere he could. So he made himself the public safety commissioner. We are required by the charter to have a public safety commissioner. That's required by the law. So if you don't hire an independent one, you have to appoint yourself. So I have no intention of doing that. I think being the mayor all by itself is more than a full-time job. And I also think that we could have a full-time person attending to nothing but issues about safety.
Do you
in the
have an
city.
idea who that person may be or what qualifications at the very least you would look for in that person?
The kinds of things that I want somebody who's going to be good at looking at policy solutions that other cities have implemented and that have a proven track record of making a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So I want somebody who is going to be comfortable going, let's say, to Syracuse, where they have a police cadet academy. So I want our new public safety commissioner to go out to Syracuse and spend time with people in charge of that program, figure out how it works. What are they doing that's working? What are the ways that they would improve it? Like, let's lean on other people's experience of what works and what doesn't. So part of what I really want is a person who is interested in diving into policy, reading studies, what works, what doesn't work, how do we bring that to Utica, how would we need to tweak it to bring it to Utica. So that's the kind of person I want, somebody who takes the big picture. I don't want somebody who's going to be overseeing day-to-day operations of either police or fire. I think both our police departments and our fire departments are run by we have very excellent leadership in those departments.
Yeah.
We don't need somebody meddling or trying to oversee day-to-day operations of the police department. That's Mark Williams' job, and he does an amazing job at it. So I want somebody who's going to think, like I say, from sort of a bigger point of view. But also, let's think about public safety from the point of view of things like engineering. It's the engineering department who's responsible for building sidewalks and creating safe walking spaces for pedestrians, making sure that crosswalks are safe. That's engineering. What about codes, right? So there's being safe outside your home, but there's also being safe inside your home. And codes and the enforcement of reasonable, safe measures inside the home, that's the codes department. What about the DPW? When we have a big flood or a big snowstorm, it's the DPW that comes out and clears the streets and keeps us safe. So I want someone who's going to be able to look at all of that and bring it all together. And also we need a public safety commissioner who can act as a spokesperson. So that when there are incidents, so we need to have somebody who's comfortable in front of a microphone, who's comfortable running a press conference, et cetera, because the public safety commissioner should be the public forward-facing person who responds to the media, responds to the public inquiries, et cetera.
Well, that's interesting, too, to look at it from more than just police and fire. I never really thought about that, because my follow-up question was going to be, do you think it should be somebody that has first responder experience? But it seems like maybe you're not going to...
Not necessarily. I mean, I wouldn't exclude that, but not necessarily. I do think that we traditionally, when you hear somebody say, hey, public safety, we think fire and police.
Yeah.
We think emergency response. We think, okay, I've had a crisis, my car's been broken into, or my kitchen's on fire, or I got somebody out in my neighborhood is threatening me. I'll call the police, I'll call 911, and the police or the fire will show up and help me with that emergency. But I think that if we really want to make Utica into as safe a city as we possibly can, we need to take that slightly broader point of view and think about, we've had a pedestrian death recently.
Yeah, right on Genesee Street in South Utica, right?
Right in my neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes there's nothing we could have done, right? There's nothing we could have done differently, nothing we could have done better. People they make poor choices to walk where they shouldn't. And I don't remember the details of that
I don't
case.
know the details in this case either.
But nonetheless, somebody died trying to cross the street. Shouldn't a public safety commissioner think about pedestrian safety?
Yeah, all aspects of that.
All aspects of we spend more time in our home than we do out and about in the city, most of us. How do we be safe at home? How do we make sure that if we live in an apartment building, are we doing the best job possible of inspecting for sprinkler systems and for fire alarms? That's something that is coordinated between the codes department and the fire department. Or do we have the best possible system for organizing that? That's also how we be safe.
Yeah.
There are. Do you have a name in mind, by the way, for a public safety commissioner?
I don't.
There are existing requirements, right, like certificates of occupancy and things like that.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, I know this firsthand that the fire department does checks on our smoke detectors workings, our doorways safe,
multifamily dwellings, right? The fire department takes responsibility for certain kinds of buildings, multi-apartment dwellings. I don't remember what the threshold is. They're responsible for inspecting those on a regular basis. I want to make sure that I understand how is that organized well enough? Are we doing that in the best way that we should? I think they're working hard at that, but maybe there are improvements to be made there. Maybe we need to make sure that we're coordinating appropriately with codes and with fire department to do those kinds of inspections.
Jeff has a question here. If elected, would you be open to offering your former opponents positions that they might be qualified for in your administration?
Absolutely. One of the things that I think is really important to remember is, let's say I win the election. Let's say I even win it like nice and decisively, which is what everybody who runs for office wants to win
Yeah.
it decisively. Nonetheless, there will be thousands of people in the city who voted for someone else. And I think I absolutely want to include other people who've run for office. I have great respect for people who run to be the mayor. It's not easy. It's hard to be a candidate. It's hard work. You put yourself up to a lot of criticism. I have great respect for anybody who chooses to take that path. So absolutely, I would be open to that.
Joe says, hang on, I'm trying to get through this here. Well, he's got some credit. He says, if Utica wants to be run by Hochul, vote her in. Ask her about the young girl that got abducted because of bail reform. I don't know. Is he talking about the case this weekend?
The Amber Alert, I assume he's talking about?
I'm trying to get clarification
I don't know that
from
he
him
was
on that.
arrested for any. I mean, I'm not sure about that.
I don't know the details of that. There was an Amber Alert. It was it was everywhere, and then it was resolved. And they don't talk about it after that because this is a child who has a right to privacy. So all we know is that she's safe and sound. We don't know I don't know any of the details of why she was missing for a couple days.
Well, other than she was abducted, yeah. But I don't know his
I don't know
comment
that
about
he
bail
was
reform.
under
I don't know what
charges
that is
pending or anything. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Regarding the Syracuse, he says Syracuse is doing nothing that works. Talk about what you've mentioned this a few times. The cadet program. What do you see in that you like, and why do you think that could be a
further,
model?
do you think that there's something wrong with the current Mohawk Valley Community College Police Academy?
No, I don't. Here's the issue. So by state law, one cannot take the civil service exam to be a police officer until you're 20 and a half years old. That means if a young person is coming out of high school knowing that this is a path that they want to pursue, we don't have any good way to keep them engaged.
Yeah.
The best we can do is email them 2.5 years later, hey, don't forget to take the test. And by then, as often as not, they've moved on, which makes a lot of sense. Recruitment is really hard. Mark Williams, our police chief, will talk about that. He talks about it a lot. Recruiting people to apply to be police officers in this day and age is very difficult. He has said several times when he was coming up, everybody wanted to be a police officer. It has become a less popular job. So so he has a hard time filling positions. That's not good for us. We want to not only always have all positions filled, but we want to have a larger range of pool so that we can pick the very best people. So recruitment is really a problem. There's this gap between graduating high school and being able to take the civil service exam. There's also the case that we cast a wide net for people to take the civil service exam, and lots of people don't pass it. And then the people who do pass it, then the next stage is to take the physical fitness exam, and we lose a whole bunch of people there. So recruitment, if we could have one way to think about a police cadet academy is that it's a big recruitment mechanism, right? So we engage kids at the high school level, maybe even like when they're sophomores. We get them into the police academy. While they're in the academy, they're studying for the civil service exam, and they are getting regular physical fitness, maybe under the mentorship of a police officer we already have. So we're really training people, bringing them along, building relationships with them. And then when they're 20 and a half, we can have a real pool of people who will pass the civil service exam, who will be appropriately physically fit, and who will have already learned some of the jobs of being a police officer. I went to Syracuse recently to meet with the mayor there, and it was police cadets who were overseeing the security at the entrance to the building. So in order to get into City Hall, you have to pass through a magnetometer, not unusual. And it was a police cadet who was managing that. And then I got upstairs to the mayor's office, and there's another police cadet sort of acting like a security person outside of his office. So that's a good role for police cadets to do, but it would really, I think, help alleviate. There are two things I like about it. It could potentially really alleviate our recruitment problems, which Mark Williams, our chief, talks about a lot. But it could also help us to recruit officers from our own community right here in Utica, and I think that would do a lot for us. So those are two of the things but also we'd have a bunch of cadets who could do stuff that, one of the things that we all know about Utica is that we don't have enough people doing enough jobs, right? We're understaffed in almost every department. Well, maybe, police cadets could also, you could have a certain kind of rotation, right? Where they also go out and do community policing events where they go to the schools and meet kids and talk to kids. And of course, most police cadets will be quite young themselves. So we could strengthen up our community policing. We could expand that. We could hopefully resolve solve some of our recruitment issues, etc.
And the physical fitness aspect is important, and you touched on that. I know that Steve Nuno does a program for the fire recruits to get them kind of in shape and ready for that job. I think maybe something like that could be feasible for those cadets.
Right.
Prepare them for that physical fitness aspect of it. Yeah.
And maybe under the, a lot of our police officers are very physically fit and very interested in fitness and work out a lot. Maybe they take someone under their wing and say, hey, come and, for the next 2 years, work out with me, go running with me, etc.
Getting back to the public safety commissioner for a minute, I know for instance, and I could be wrong here, correct me if I'm wrong, but in most cases where the public or media are seeking more information on a case that is of public interest, it usually involves the police department. I know the police department has a public information officer. Are you suggesting maybe, because I believe Curley, who has
Michael
that,
Curley.
Yeah, he has that now. I think
does an excellent job.
I completely agree.
Right.
He's fantastic.
Right.
But I think it's
Sometimes
one of his multiple hats.
Yeah,
so are you saying
he does a lot?
Removing that public
I'm absolutely
PIO?
not interested in that. This is about when big things happen, such as what happened at Proctor High School a few weeks ago. That you want a public safety commissioner. Officer Curley, Sergeant Curley, he does a lot of the day-to-day communications for the department, and he is very good at it. But imagine if there was also a public safety commissioner with whom he could coordinate.
When he's busy being a part of the investigation part of it, maybe to be able to.
Well, and also that just like the public safety commissioner is going to have this, sort of step back and take a wide view of things, the public safety commissioner can also step back and be a communicator about the wide view of things.
Yeah.
Not day-to-day incidents, etc. Right? So I certainly didn't mean to. Not thinking of replace. We want to add more services to the public, and also we want to communicate more, not just differently, but we want to communicate more to the public.
Also, it's Lieutenant Curley.
Oh, Lieutenant
I've
Curley.
made that mistake before.
I apologize.
We're demoting him.
I apologize, Lieutenant.
No, I agree.
And he's very good at what he does.
Absolutely, he is. I completely agree with you. All right, so I also wanted to ask about. There are situations, and I understand the grid in the city, and it's difficult. There's a lot of miles. You know how many miles, and people talk about potholes in the summer and stuff like that. But making sure the roads are plowed so people can get to work on time has been an issue in the city. How do you fix that? How do you get that?
This is hard because, again, we're understaffed at the DPW. I think that the first thing we could do, I think I'm pretty consistent on this, is that we need to communicate better. So one of the very first How Utica Works newsletters that I wrote was about plowing. And people didn't understand the system. Why would they? Nobody had ever told it to them. There's a very specific system. And what can happen in a big snowstorm is, you might wake up in the morning, look at your road and think, oh my God, they haven't plowed. No, they've plowed twice. It's just that the snow is still falling and it continues to build up, right? But they've made they're on their third circuit. So the first thing we need to do, I think, is communicate much better to people about how we plow. The other thing we can do is that and this would actually be a fairly simple, it's a technological thing, where we put GPS trackers on the plows, and we connect that up on our website. And you can go on the website, and if you know that you're in Route 7, you're on the Loop 7, somewhere in the middle of the city, you go and you pick that, and you go, oh, that plow is, okay, it's heading in my direction, and it looks like it'll be here in about 15 minutes. That would be cool.
It's interesting.
And it wouldn't be expensive, and it wouldn't be, I have a lot of friends who cycle, right? Who are bikers, and they do this all the time, right? They go out for a ride in the country, and they make a point of making a big, pretty figure 8 on their bikes, and then show it to you on
social
Facebook,
media.
social media. Oh, here's the ride I did today, and they made a bunny with ears. I mean, those are.
Well, even like Spectrum and Amazon and a lot of other places, you can see kind of when your service person's coming or when your delivery is arriving.
Right, and that's not hard. So we should do that for plowing as well.
So had you proposed that before? Because that's actually something, maybe the county had suggested that. Somebody had previously suggested that.
It has been out there. So I don't know that I've specifically proposed it, but it's out there. Other municipalities, other governments are doing that. So it's not by any means, like I didn't invent that idea all by myself, but it's a good idea. And it's easy. It's literally about attaching some GPS trackers to our plows and then hooking up that signal to a program on the website.
So you are a Democrat, and maybe I'm not being fair here, and correct me if I'm wrong, but When we talk about police recruitment, and you said Mark Williams said it's very difficult. In fact, we've heard that across all law enforcement agencies. There is at least a perception, and I think it's more than that, that your side of the aisle seems to attack and villainize police, certainly more than the other side. How do you change that perception? Do you agree with that, by the way? Do you think your party is too hard on law enforcement members? I feel like cops get the blame quite a bit when we have situations going on. It's either they didn't do enough or they did too much, or react to that.
Well, in part, right, the problem here, there's a question of how the media, and I don't mean you, but the media in general. So, 30 years ago, things happened and we didn't all know it. And now we've all had to watch, unfortunately, and sit through, unless we chose to turn it off, the murder of George Floyd, right? You can go on YouTube right now and watch once again the murder of George Floyd. So we all know that. So we know a lot more about cases that happen all over the country. So that's part of what's going on there. I'm not going to speak for I don't think that my party has actually historically over time been anti-police.
Well, there was the whole defund police thing,
but that wasn't coming from the party. That was coming from activists. It's a terrible phrase. It's a terrible idea. I don't know who landed on it. I wish they hadn't. It's bought us a lot of trouble that we didn't need, that actually gets in the way of us making the world a better place for everybody. So I don't agree with defund the police. It's just on simple messaging, it's just terrible, right? And even people in the poorest communities in America believe it's terrible. They want the police. They just want to make sure that the police are coming to their defense as well as other areas. So I don't agree with that, but I don't think that that's the party so much as as activists, people outside the party system. But I'm sure that somebody's going to find now some example of an elected Democrat.
There are
who
some.
has said
I don't
that,
need to
right.
name them, but there are some notable Democrats who were espousing this stuff.
I'm sure, and there are notable Republicans. Trying to drown people in the Rio Grande River, but I don't try to paint that. I don't paint all Republicans with that brush.
Who was trying to what Republicans were trying to drown people in the Rio Grande River?
They put up barriers. I don't want to get into this. I shouldn't have said
You brought it up.
Right, I did. They put up barriers in the Rio Grande River such that once you got into it, you couldn't then, if you tried to climb up these barriers. I don't know whether anybody actually drowned. That would have been the Republican governor of Texas. Put objects inside the Rio Grande River in order to try to keep people from crossing the river, which is one of the crossing places. People wade across the Rio Grande River, and it was decried across the board by human rights organizations, by lots of people as being it violates international law, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm not here to paint all Republicans with the actions of some of the most extreme members of the Republican Party, and I don't want to be painted as a Democrat with some of the more extreme views on police. I have consistently supported this police department. I love this police department. I admire them. I think they do incredibly hard work. I think Chief Williams, Deputy Chief Noonan, are enormous leaders of their department and leaders in the city. I know that Chief Williams puts in a full day, and then he goes home at night and he reads policy papers on how to make things better. He's always looking to how do we make our department better. I admire that. I respect it. We are very, very lucky to have a really professional department that invests a great deal of resources in training our officers and in holding them to very high standards of professional behavior.
I just have a quick text here. This is from somebody, I won't name who it was, but rumor has it you've cut a deal with Rob Palmieri to be Public Safety Commissioner in exchange for his endorsement.
Super glad that came up. Always glad when that comes up because it gives me the chance to say I have not. I guess it takes a while for that word to get out to everybody, but that is one of the rumors out there. I have not cut such a deal. I have no intention of hiring Mayor Palmieri to be the Public Safety Commissioner, and he has not endorsed me as of yet.
Do you expect that he will?
I don't know. I don't want to speak for him. That's not fair.
And then somebody commenting here, and he's correct. The plow idea with the tracking was something Joe Marino had proposed previously.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not taking any.
No,
I think
fine.
that's a great idea, but I knew I had heard that before, and he's right, actually. It did come from.
It's absolutely not my original idea, but I don't know why we haven't followed up on it. Because it's
very
easy.
few unique original ideas
That's
out
not
there.
right.
It's about finding solutions and things that work.
And the whole idea, the whole point of this kind of leadership is not to sort of go. It's not about inventing something wholly new in order to get credit for some some fancy new idea. It's about moving the city forward by figuring out what are the best ideas out there. How do we implement them? Can we implement them? How do we take good ideas out there and make them work for us?
Lance, will the Utica Council try to censure Samantha like they tried to censure Katie? Both were not good looks for the council.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard anything to that effect. We do have a council meeting tonight, but I have not. Nobody has put forward any legislation at this point to that, at least not that I know.
Is there going to be any action taken by the council in regard to the Aiello situation with the police involved? There was another city employee involved.
I don't think that issue sort of dropped off of our radar a few weeks ago.
8:42. We rapid fired. We covered a lot of ground. Come back soon.
Sure.
Thank
Anytime.
you, Celeste.
I love being here.
Appreciate it. We'll take a quick time out. We've got Buck, Paul Buckley coming
Waiting in the
a
wings.
second. We'll talk some Utica sweetheart. Yes, and we'll touch base with Ryan Nobles as well coming up. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Income may be subject to state, local, or alternative minimum tax. Did you know that municipal bonds are a way for investors to support civil projects while earning federally tax-free income? The Erie Canal, which led to the expansion of the United States into the Midwest in the 1800s, was financed with municipal bonds. Are you looking to bridge the gap between the income of your working years and the income needed in retirement? Municipal bonds might provide the solution you're looking for. Henyon & Walsh is a leading specialist in tax-free municipal bonds and has provided investors with quality service and personal attention since 1990. Call now to receive their informative bond guide absolutely free. Dial 1-800-761-9761 to learn how to earn retirement income while keeping your taxes at bay. Just dial 1-800-761-9761 for a copy of their informative bond guide for free. No cost, no obligation. 1-800-761-9761. Henyon & Walsh Inc., member of FINRA and SIPC.
If you trade stocks, then you know avoiding pitfalls is the biggest challenge for both new and experienced investors. Vantage Point's dual-patented artificial intelligence provides a powerful solution to this problem by offering predictive accuracy, emotional neutrality, and diverse market forecasts for today's active traders. Vantage Point's AI analyzes billions of data points in seconds, so you get highly accurate predicted market conditions for the next trading day. Take the emotion out of your trading. Text the word money to 813-813. Navigate the financial markets with confidence using AI. Text MONEY to 813-813 right now to learn more for free. Text money to 813-813 to experience the benefits of AI in your trading. Trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors. Past results do not guarantee future performance. By texting, you agree to the terms available at VantagePointSoftware.com and consent to receive calls and texts using automated technology about offers or info by or on behalf of Vantage Point. Your consent is not a condition to purchase and can be revoked at any time. Message and data rates may apply. Text the word money to 813-813.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information for families that have disabled children to protect the child and to ensure your future wishes are met. So if you have a disabled child, you need to provide them with what's called a special needs trust. This trust allows them to receive an inheritance from you, but also allows them to keep any governmental benefits that they are receiving. It is critically important that if they have an inheritance coming, that they not lose their benefits. Unmarried couples should be aware of important steps they need to take with their estate planning. If a partner dies and does not leave a will, the surviving partner will not likely receive any of the assets from the deceased partner. This can create a lot of problems in the future and must be resolved utilizing a will or a trust. To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Andrew sitting in this morning. We are trying to keep up here, moving quickly.
Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. And Paul Buckley and Dave Short.
Good morning.
Buck calls everybody sweetheart, but he calls you Shorty. Good morning. How you guys doing today?
Very good. Very good. Thank you for having us.
Buck was chastising me because we're a little behind. So what we're going to do is just play your television PSA, and thanks for coming in,
Okay,
guys.
thanks for having us.
So tell us what we're talking about here this morning. We're trying to keep the drains clean, right?
Well, here we go. It's no longer stick in the can. It's leave it at the curb now.
There you go.
So we're not trying to keep the drains clean.
We are, but I mean, this is leave it at the curb, not in the street.
Oh, at the curb. Gotcha.
It's always on the curb.
On the curb, up.
Not in the
up,
street.
Not in the
No.
street.
Right,
Okay,
right.
that's a good,
And even-
because not everybody realizes that.
Oh.
A lot of people don't.
Don't
Yeah.
put it in the
Don't
street.
just throw it in the
Leave
street.
it on your lawn, and the guys will rake it into the road and scoop it.
Yes.
Yep. And also, if you still mow your lawn, you still have to containerize your grass clippings because there's like cement because it gets into the sewers and hardens up. So it's leave it at the curb. Stick your grass clippings in the can. So
there's still a variance of stick it in the can.
well,
that's
people
existed.
still it's a lot of people take their green waste. Sorry for jumping in there. A lot of people take their green waste in cans because it's a lot easier to get to the street anyway.
Yeah.
So they'll leave it in a can and that's it. So continue if you're sticking in the can, leave it in the can and just whatever. If you want to take it to the curb, leave it at the curb, but not in the street.
Not in the street. Go ahead.
So since the springtime, we've been trying to tell people to put it in the can, right? And we've been battling that all the way through.
Yeah.
Now that we're putting it loose to the curb, I have more people putting it in the can now.
You got to start to tell people the opposite, right?
Exactly what I said.
It's reverse psychology, I guess.
Yeah.
So so we started that. It's going along very well. A lot of heavy material out there that we always run into. That's normal. I mean, we have a very great policy of green waste in this city, and it's a great benefit to the taxpayer.
I got to say, where I live in North Utica, we had that storm a few weeks back, which cost us a new roof. Fortunately, everything was good there, but they did a great job in North Utica clearing up
Thank you.
all the trees and branches that fell. So
Well, that shouldn't bother you, Andrew. I mean, you're making a ton in real estate.
still an unexpected expense.
So
but
also,
you're gearing up for winter too with the
We are
plowing and everything.
We've been working on snowplow since August. It's always an uphill battle with that. Lack of staff, equipment's old, so it always presents a challenge to us. But we do our best, and we usually get through the winter with minor problems.
I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I got to ask, though. Celeste just mentioned the idea, and it was something that Joe Marino had talked about previously. What do you think about the idea of putting little trackers on the plows so people have an idea where they are?
Well, let me expand on that. I want to even go further than that. I want to be able to show on my computer whether the salter's working, whether the plow is down and they're plowing, so forth and so on. We have looked at, we do have GPS in the trucks. But to put it out to the public yet, we're still a little hesitant because they get a 15-minute break, they get a half-hour lunch.
Oh yeah.
The truck breaks down a lot, so then you get inundated with calls. What's going on? What's going on with that plow?
They haven't moved in 5 minutes. What's going on?
Exactly, and we've talked to other municipalities that have offered this service, and that's the issues that they're telling me that they're trying to figure out.
Right.
So it's not a bad idea. It's just something that we have to.
So maybe in
work out.
conjunction with some sort of camera, so that it sees,
Wow.
okay, this is what the issue is.
Right.
You put a camera on it, though, and they're like, oh, that's his second sandwich. He already ate a sandwich. He gets 2 chocolate milks? Why
Come
does he get 2
on.
chocolate milks?
Yeah, everybody has issues one way or the other somewhere down the line. So
Yeah. I understand.
Somebody's always going to complain. But also in the street, you can't leave stumps, trees, shrubs, and bushes, I guess.
Bushes, right. We're not taking out bushes.
Or construction debris. I mean, your contractor's responsible for all that crap.
Yeah, I see. As a matter of fact, my mother's road there, they got the big, bags,
Bags,
and you
yeah,
can
yeah,
load it
yeah,
up.
yeah.
That's not something the city does,
No,
right?
no,
That's
private.
a private.
That's
yeah.
That's private. They come and pick that up bulk. We don't. That's private.
Yep. All right. Anything else people need to look?
Well,
That
by
was
the
a
way-
that's a great point, by the way, because I always thought when you're saying leave it at the curb, that's my fault. But I thought you put
not
it
leave it in the street.
In the street at the curb. That's what I
Oh.
thought. But no, you leave it on your yard there, not in the road.
Between the sidewalk and the street is the easeway or easement. So you leave it right there. Leave it right there. Then they come by, they take it off there and brush it in the tree into the truck. That's all I know.
It's always good to see you.
It's all I know.
Well, we got some positive feedback. Not for you, Buck. I apologize, but for Dave.
Hang up on him.
Dave Short has done a tremendous job with the park system and public works with the reduced crew for many years and doesn't get many accolades. Thank you, Dave.
Is that from his wife?
No, that was
I
Jim
want to second
Zecca,
that.
so.
I want to second that. Oh, Jim Zecca. He doesn't hand out
He
many
doesn't, no, he
compliments.
doesn't. No, yeah.
Oh, very nice, Dave.
Thank you, Jim.
I'll
Thank you.
second that, by
Thank
the
you.
way. Do you guys still have a hard time recruiting, getting people
We
in?
do.
What's the deal? People don't want to work?
Nobody
COVID.
wants to
You
work
pay
anymore.
enough? What's the deal?
COVID did it.
I talked to
No.
some of the older guys at the garage, and years ago when we had an opening, there'd be a line trying to get that job. Now I can't even get people to get in the door to get the job. Either they don't have licenses, or they can't pass the background check, or they're just not interested anymore. So it's something that we're still dealing with.
Do you need to operate a plow in the DPW trucks? You need a special license.
You have
for
to
that?
have a class B with air endorsement, CDL driver's license.
Okay. All right. Buck, I wish you could stay longer, but you can't.
Well,
Have
stop
a good
by
day.
tomorrow.
Well, I think we're the fastest guests to be brushed out of this place today.
Oh, stop. Come
So
on.
listen,
I'm
stop
gonna
by
leave,
tomorrow.
I'm going to leave you at the curb.
Stop by tomorrow.
No, Jeff, stick in the can, will you, please?
Stop by tomorrow at 6:15. We'll get you on at 7:45. All right?
I walked right into that one. Thank you guys very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Remember, leave it at the curb.
We're going to transition quickly to Ryan Nobles, who we made him wait as well, Buck, just so you know.
Well, he's worth the wait.
Well, he certainly is. Reporting live, of course, he's with NBC, and he's going to tell us the latest on what happened yesterday. McCarthy is out. 8 Republicans voted for it. Ryan, what do you make of what happened yesterday?
Well, I think the only way to describe it is chaotic, Jeff, and I'm not exactly sure what the next step in all of this is going to be. I admit to being somewhat surprised that it happened as easily as it did. I thought that there'd be a little bit more of a fight. I knew that McCarthy and his speakership was in danger after he cut that deal to avoid the government shutdown, but I thought maybe there'd be a few Democrats that would come to his rescue, or that they could convince a couple of these hardliners. But I think the reality of yesterday was that McCarthy's leadership, which was basically hanging by a thin thread from the second he took the gavel, was always in danger of snapping. And yesterday there was just too much weight, and it was over. But I think these House conservatives think that they've solved their problem, but they think they've just created a new one.
Yeah.
Because there's really no idea who's going to take over, and if whoever takes over is going to be in the same sort of chaotic situation that McCarthy was in.
Ryan, one of the things too. This is Andrew here. One of the shocking things I think were some of the Congress people that did vote to oust him. They're not always hardline Republican, like Ken Buck.
Well, Ken Buck is very conservative, but he's not so much MAGA conservative, if that makes sense. Like, he's been one of the people that has been making it very clear that he doesn't think the evidence warrants impeachment, but he's very conservative on basically every other measure, and particularly in spending, which is the thing he's obsessed with. And he was very upset with McCarthy cutting the deal on the debt ceiling and cutting the deal on to keep the government open. He thought that there should have been more effort to try and rein in spending. I think from the outside, the biggest surprise may have been Nancy Mace of South Carolina, but those of us that kind of cover her every day know that she kind of goes with the wind. And I talked to her. She was in my nightly news piece on Monday night, saying that she was seriously considering a change in leadership. But she's not a MAGA Republican by any stretch of the imagination. She goes back and forth. So I think it was just the weight of everything. I think there were some people that were just like, I'm sick of this drama. Let's move on. But by saying you're sick of the drama, you've just created a whole new round of drama. And we may, it could be weeks before we know who the speaker is. And I think the biggest problem there is we've got another serious deadline staring us in the face in terms of government funding. And they can't even begin the conversation about passing appropriations bills until there's a new speaker in place.
What's the split? What are the odds on it's a Democrat or it's a Republican who takes over that position?
It'll definitely be a Republican.
Oh, it will.
Yeah,
okay.
It'll definitely be a Republican. They just have more votes. The question is, will it be someone who is from the hard line, like Jim Jordan? Is it going to be someone who kind of tries to straddle the fence, like Steve Scalise, who's definitely a conservative but tends to work more with the moderates? Or do they try and find someone that's more of the McCarthy wing of the party, somebody like Tom Emmer or Patrick McHenry, who's currently sitting in the job on a temporary basis?
Well, Jim Jordan made it clear he doesn't want the. He doesn't. He said
well,
that
that's what he
times.
said, but now he's starting to. But I can just tell you from my own reporting that he's definitely making outreach to people. He's listening to the calls, I guess is a good way to put it. And I think that if there was an overwhelming sense that from the conference that Jim Jordan could get the 218 votes, I think that he would happily accept that. I don't think he's looking to get into any sort of a bloody battle with one of the other potential competitors. But if the momentum starts to swing in his direction, I would not be surprised if Jim Jordan ends up the next speaker. The odds-on favorite is Steve Scalise, who's number 2 right now. He's kind of somebody that nobody really loves, but nobody really hates. which tends to be tends to be one of the best qualities of a Speaker of the House.
Yeah, I don't love him, but I can tolerate him.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly right.
Well, which
But
was
the problem
McCarthy, which I don't understand. I mean, what do you make of the optics that Gates is saying you're working too much with the other side, yet you and 7 other Republicans just voted with the Democrats to oust your party's leadership? It's just kind of confusing to me.
I haven't covered Congress now as long as I have. The one thing I've learned is that you should never count on consistency. Hypocrisy tends to be the rule.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Hit the nail on the head.
Whenever it's convenient, these guys will make an argument about the morality and the ethics of a decision that they make. And there's no doubt that Matt Gaetz is talking out of both sides of his mouth in an issue like this. But so is McCarthy, and that's part of what did him in. I think McCarthy's biggest problem has been, over the course of his entire career, and it really helped. It's what got him into the Speaker's office. But his biggest problem is he always told whoever was in front of them what they wanted to hear. And so that allowed him to make a lot of friends over a short period of time. But the problem is you can make all those promises when you don't have the gavel. As soon as you take the gavel, that's when those promises come home to roost. Mm-hmm. And he was able to navigate that all for, 9 months. But now it just became too much. And I think that's, at the end of the day, someone, like Nancy Pelosi, she was very friendly with a lot of her members, but she also kept them in line. And so you knew where you stood with Nancy Pelosi, for better or for worse. And with Kevin McCarthy, I think there was a sense that he was trying to please too many people.
So what happens now? They went home till Monday? Is that what the deal is, and everything else
so
halts?
Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah. So they originally, which I just think is just lunacy. They originally had canceled. They were scheduled to have a 2-week recess at the beginning of October to so that they could take advantage of all the hard work that they had done in September. And they canceled that recess because of the government shutdown, because they knew they only had 45 days to come up with 12 appropriations bills. Then they decided to get themselves in the middle of this speaker's race. Now that the speaker's office is vacant, they've decided to take 5 or 6 days off to kind of reset. And then they're going to come back on Tuesday. They'll have an internal conference meeting. And in that internal conference meeting, they will attempt to try and find someone that can garner 218 votes, then with the goal of perhaps taking it to the floor and officially electing that person on Wednesday. But, the idea that is going to play out exactly the way they intend, I think, is kind of fanciful. Just, if past this precedent, they don't seem to be able to do anything easily, that's for sure.
And this derails the impeachment hearings, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes it a lot more complicated. I mean, Jim Comer said last night that they're just going to continue on. I mean, functionally, all those offices remain intact. The chairmen of those committees are still the chairman of those committees. But I think the bigger problem with the impeachment inquiry is that they can't. So the big difference here is, and I know we're running out of time, but at the beginning of the year, they couldn't do a single thing until they elected a speaker because they had not passed the rules organizing the House. They have rules in place to organize the House. So that means all the committees can still function as normally. The only thing they're missing is a speaker. Now, they can't pass any laws, and there actually is some back and forth about whether or not parliamentarily they're allowed to do that. But the committees will continue to exist as the committees exist because the rules are in place. So things like the impeachment, they could technically still push stuff out of appropriations as well. But I just mean the whole situation is a little paralyzed just because nobody knows what's going on.
Ryan, fantastic job. You're outstanding. Appreciate your time. As
Go
always,
Bills,
thank
huh?
you so much. We're lucky to have you here as part of the show each week. And how about those Bills? Yeah, I mean, look, and if you're a Dolphin
football.
As I said earlier, if you're a Dolphins fan, don't worry. You play the Giants this weekend. It'll all be fine. So
that's right. Yep.
It is 9 o'clock, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome. Thanks for your time this morning. Have a great day. We'll see you on TV tonight. Take care. Ryan Nobles, NBC News. We're out of time. I'll give you your 9 o'clock code right now. Your Keeler cash code 255. We're going to go at 02 here. 255 is your Keeler cash code. I'll have another one coming up for you at 10 o'clock this morning. I mentioned WIBX 950 Utica, Rome. What do I want to say? Joe Lode, thank you so much. I think we'll hear from Joe again tomorrow.
Yep, I'll be in tomorrow if you'd like.
Andrew, I don't know. I think I had my fill with you today.
You and everybody else.
What else do I need to mention? Am I forgetting something? Smitty, great job as always. Did I forget something here? He's usually the one who reminds me of this stuff. Once again, your 9 a.m. code is 255. A busy program this morning. I feel like we did a week's worth of shows in just 3 hours. Stay tuned. We'll get the latest from, no, we won't, Fox News. We just missed that update. Brian Kilmeade is next. I'm sure he'll have a lot to say about what happened in Washington yesterday. One more time, WIBX 950 Utica Rome. Thanks for joining us. We are back here tomorrow, your news, talk, and sports leader.
All right, this just in. Pure Talk just added more 5G data to every plan and is now including a mobile hotspot with no price increase at all whatsoever. Just $20 a month for unlimited talk, unlimited text, and now 50% more 5G data, plus you get mobile hotspot. Start saving today. Go to puretalk.com, enter the promo code Sean, S-E-A-N, to make the switch to Pure Talk, and you do it now, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com, promo code Sean.
Identity theft shows no signs of slowing down. In fact,